When Friday nights are all about shenanigans, you've come to the right place when it says the Snobs channel. Join us as we talk about dicks and more with your hosts, Mick. That's why they call it Mick at Night. No, seriously. And your guest co-host, Chris. Fuck are you watching? What are you playing a video game? I can't even hear you. He's a podcaster, everybody. I want everybody to know that he's a podcaster, and when you can't hear him, that is perfect because he's still trying so hard to be heard. But he's got a beautiful face. Now you want to see him be angry?
Son of a bitch.
Weed Wolf. Dude, if I don't open it, if it's just you, and I don't open the show with the words Weed Wolf, I've kind of failed.
Oh man, as I was trying to say no, I was trying to do my titles and preparing for the rest of the night to come and such, but I could not stop fucking laughing to your intro, so it's a good thing my mic was off.
Dude, I was like, all right, I'm running late. Let's just do something fun. Let's have a good time with it. Holy shit, dude.
Oh man, what's good today? How's everybody doing?
Fucking A, dude. I'm waiting to get a little high.
There you go.
You know, get nice and toasty. I'm gonna go black. I like black background better.
I was gonna say, you putting it in the air tonight, or you put it down in the belly?
A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B.
Oh shit! Here we go. Here we go. It's about to be an all time of the night, folks.
Santiago was a subpar Marine. No, that's not what you just said. Oh, sorry. Well, you know I'm high when I go into A Few Good Men.
Oh, this is gonna be good. This is gonna be good.
God. Uh-oh, who's here? Chris is here.
Shit.
What's up, Chris? Thanks for
What
joining
up,
in,
sir?
man. Oh man, Chris, one of
Welcome.
our horror geeks. Chris is gonna be mad because Chris bought the horror geek shirt, so he's OG.
Nice.
But we got a new one for this year.
Oh no.
More Snobs.
I like that. Simple, to the point, you know?
Right? Yeah. That would be something different. We needed a new logo for our horror department. It's getting too big. Too much crazy shit going on.
What else do you guys got going besides Horror Snobs and Discovering Horror now?
Well, we still have horror conversations, which is our horror convention podcast, I guess. And
okay,
we talk horror. We had a good conversation last night. Dan and I were the only ones there for it. We had a good time. It was fun. We talked about the Miyagi line.
Which Miyagi line?
So not a quote. We made up something new.
Okay.
So in sports, you know the Mendoza line?
Okay.
So 75%. If you're under the Mendoza line, if you're over the Mendoza line, you're considered like a good to great player.
Okay.
If you're under, you're considered like normal to sucks. So it's basically, I'm paraphrasing.
Yeah, I get it.
It's a very cool, like in baseball, it's a very cool way to judge like batting averages, things like that, all the percentages. So Dan and I decided to come up with the Miyagi line because if it's 4 movies, and we talked about horror yesterday. So the Miyagi line is, and the reason we came up with the Miyagi line is because Karate Kid's a great movie, but the crane kick is fucking stupid. It's a terrible fucking move, and it's illegal. So it's when I think about it, and I'm like, everything in that movie is really well done. It's a good movie. I would put that movie at like a B, even an A, but that crane kick keeps it like a C for me.
Oh, damn.
And that's at like 75%.
Okay.
So I'm tough on movies.
Yep.
You know, like, and you have to be because the Miyagi line, you can't have everybody over just because you like it.
Right.
You know, you got to take that stuff out. So, like, that was why it became the Miyagi line. So anything that I consider above the Miyagi line is a great movie. Anything below is bad. And like, this is Dan's thing. Dan came out with the Mendoza line. We just called it the Miyagi line last night. So.
That's awesome. So basically, if you crane kick, you're good in a movie. You are Daniel's son, bro. Could you imagine though? Let's throw a twist at this, right? Since you said it's so great, right? Let's throw a twist.
I'd say so great. I said it was a good movie, but that crane kick is stupid.
Could you imagine if it was a young Jean-Claude Van Damme that was selected to do that movie?
Okay, so
that would be a better kick at the end of that movie. That's all I got.
Clearly, somebody hasn't seen a little movie called No Retreat, No Surrender.
Apparently not.
You are going to see the trailer for it right now.
That works for me. I'm getting a pen so I can write it down as well. No retreat, no surrender.
Now, before I play this trailer for you,
yeah,
there's something you need to know.
Okay.
All right. And that's a short version of the premise. Now, the premise for this is a young man whose father owns a dojo gets beat up and bullied by some business developers that are buying up all the dojos in the area so that way they can have one big chain dojo.
Okay.
And that big chain developer has a henchman who is phenomenal at kung fu, I guess.
Okay.
And that is Jean-Claude Van Damme, a Russian dude. So the son trains with the ghost of Bruce Lee.
Okay.
To get good enough, and then ends up having to fight him. Now I'm going to play a trailer for you.
Okay.
You're going to love it because this movie is a fucking trip.
I'm like, wait, already? So you end up fighting the ghost of the Bruce Lee?
Nope, you'll see.
Europe's most feared martial artist. I've been
Look at this. He flew 7 feet back.
Oh God!
Jason
that looked like that hurt.
Wanted to be a champion, but he's having a tough time at school.
I love it.
No excuse, sir, mister. Let's see what you're made of.
Uh-huh.
And a tougher time at life.
Stay out of the way, punk. She's mine.
But Jason has a dream.
Someday I'm gonna be just like him.
He needs a little help and a lot of guidance.
Now your training begins.
He's just found the best.
Set the images all in your head. The result is power.
Now,
I want to point out
that
that actor can speak English. They didn't need to dub him.
Competitive. He wanted to be a champion.
You're good. I get better.
But he never expected
Bro.
to be a hero.
To be a hero. Oh shit! Does Colonel Guyu's flash kick on Colonel Gayu? Before Colonel Guyu's Colonel fucking Gayu?
That movie is first of all, that movie's just worth it watching on its own. If you can watch it with the riff tracks,
Okay.
it's 10 times funnier.
Okay.
It's so good to hear him make fun of it. That and Miami Connection are two of the funniest martial arts movies to ever exist.
Writing that one down for me later.
Like American martial arts movies. There are plenty out there, that are foreign, like whether it be whatever country, but because there's martial arts in tons of countries, but these are two of the American-made martial arts movies from the 80s that are just the fucking funniest.
What was the second one called, you said?
I don't know. I don't remember.
It wasn't No Retreat, No
Retreat, No Surrender. And the
Surrender.
second one's Miami Connection.
That's what I thought. Miami Connection. Because for some reason, my brain just got going to Vice.
Miami Connection doesn't even take place in Miami. It takes place in Orlando. Is a movie about ninjas, good ninjas fighting bad ninjas, and the good ninjas are in a rock band.
Oh my God.
It's pure pleasure.
Oh my God.
It's just pure pleasure.
I'm gonna have fun with that. Like I liked movies like American Ninja back in the day. Familiar with it?
Yeah, I remember American Ninja. They made like 5 of those.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude.
I
You know what
forgot the
I
guy's
like?
name, but he was in another movie we watched recently. I think he played a cholo or something like that. Or was he in one of the fuck, I gotta remember what movie it was. I'll come back to that later if I do.
I like the kickboxer movies, but here's the funny part.
I did too.
I like the first one, but I love the second, third, and fourth one because they replaced it with Cody from Step by Step.
Okay.
And he just steps in, and I was like, these are better. I like these more. There's like a coherent storyline. He fights Kung Po in the second one to avenge his brothers. And the third one, he's in Brazil.
Yeah.
Because he's like the world kickboxing champion. So he's in Brazil, and he takes on like Brazilian drug lords. I shit you not, it's fucking great. It's
what do they call that shit? That fucking Brazilian fight dance or whatever is like capoeira. Capoeira, that's what it is.
And if you want to watch a movie about capoeira,
Uh-huh.
you watch Only the Strong.
Only the Strong. I'm mesmerized by that just because I've always loved dance and shit like that. And like I've always wanted in a personal way to be a goddamn b-boy legend and just get my cola hat on and get my velour jumpsuit and my Adidas shell tops and just fucking do a top rock, a 6-step, some windmills. You know, that's what I've always wanted to do. But
Well,
gravity played a role.
Do I have the movie for you? This might be the greatest movie in the history of movies ever.
Okay.
Charles Darwin's theory, natural selection, a general description. Anybody?
How about I naturally select to walk out of this boring classroom?
The kids of Lincoln
37-year-old
High had no discipline,
You must think I'm playing, punk.
no respect,
Teach him a lesson, man.
no one to look up to.
You had a job you were supposed to do last night.
Until one of their own was crazy enough to take them on.
Oh shit.
Lewis Stevens, former graduate of Lincoln High.
Oh, he must be a loser then.
Okay, let's get started. Drop the bags, drop your skateboard, drop your pants.
He's taking the kids everyone has given up on
Man, you don't know nothing about anybody here.
and giving them something to believe in.
You! I want you to turn that music up. I said turn it up. I like that. The capoeira. Everything starts out with the jinga. It's pretty funny, doesn't it? It's the basis for moves like this. And this. You ready to try this yet?
He's earning something no one knew they had. Respect.
You have a name?
Donovan.
See you tomorrow, Donovan.
Okay.
If we don't start trusting them, why should they start trusting us? This world can be about as big as you ever want it to be, showing you some choices.
Banana way.
Together, they're changing their lives.
Stripping cars is all I know. I like to think you're better than that.
What way I know that you're getting in that car?
I'm not your slave.
Changing each other
These were the 12 worst kids at Lincoln, the absolute bottom of the heap. Look at what he's done with them.
and changing their world.
You did something none of us professionals been able to do. You got their attention.
Only the strong.
Only the
You're
strong.
that guy from Lincoln High School. Yes, sir. And these are my kids.
They're taking the challenge of their lives and turning it into the triumph of a lifetime.
So it's like the Karate Kid meets Dangerous Minds.
I was gonna say
It's like,
the
come on.
South American fucking Karate Kid.
At least it's not a white savior.
Hey, it's true. That's true. But what the hell was that guy? That's what I was trying to figure out. I was like, why does he look so familiar? I've seen him in like a Cholo movie or something.
Never
probably.
say his last name right, but he's been in a ton of shit. Mark
Yeah.
Durakos or something like that.
Gotcha.
He's the, I don't know if he's still doing it for a long time. He was the host of Iron Chef.
That's right. Okay.
He does. He's like the bald guy who hosts it, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Here's the Iron Chef," and like that's been his job for like a little while. But in like the '90s,
Yeah.
he was in a lot of
Figuring out
like
shit.
straight to video martial arts movies.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that a lot of those movies didn't get, the budgets and shit that, could make them super great. But hey, we had the 90s. We had video stores and they could pump stuff out. Like once what was it, the late 70s, early 80s hit, and the VHSs changed over from beta. It was like all hell broke loose. And they, again, you did an episode on the Dirty 72, right? Which, tells the story of it was the wild fucking West for movie making. Like if you could dream it and had a camera and get it on film, they just print that shit and ship them.
Yeah, that's true. And they really did. Because, I mean, you got to remember, too, like back in the day, and I also did a video on the studio system for anybody who's like they had their own sort of, it wasn't as straight to, because there was no video store. So it was in movies, but they were like pumping out what would be considered back then straight to video.
Yeah.
Those are the movies you were like, all right, it's playing all day. Let's just go see it, sort of thing.
And for whatever the rate was back then to go see a movie, probably what, $2 or something like that? $1.50?
I would say even less than that, depending on the years back then, like the 40s. True.
Oh yeah. I was thinking like 70s and shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Deadpool. He was in John Wick 3, that's right. But yeah, he popped up. Like, I think that's probably his most famous thing as of late. But like, he's been a martial artist for a long time, so I see why he gets into stuff like that.
Yeah, I miss stuff like that, and I feel like nowadays martial artists don't really get recognition unless you're like involved in the world or following it or whatnot. Because most of the time, if they do have some type of a successful career outside of the scope of martial arts or whatnot, tournaments and all that shit, it's usually a very small percent that make it into like stunt acting and stuff like that, or choreography for fight scenes and shit like that.
Yeah, true.
I mean, what? How do you? I don't even know. Like, how do you break into that or make even a hole into that type of space for yourself?
I mean, just at this point, this day and age, you just got to make something that's like in that realm.
That's true.
It works. But it's a different world, man. The action is different. Everything changed. Things changed with the time, and that in-your-face, fast-paced martial arts was changed by, the introduction of mixed martial arts.
Yep.
And people like that whole fad, and not when you say fad, like it's a legitimate sport and enjoyed, but
right,
it took away from disciplines. It took away from certain like karate or kung fu or Muay Thai or things like that. So because now everybody was like, all right, let's go mix. Let's tell martial arts stories. People want to see it in the octagon. So you still get your fighting movies, but it's so different compared to what it was. It's so in your face now. People want it gritty like they see in the ring.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, competitions used to be so structured and rule based and all that stuff, and now it's just all out brawls. It's no holds barred. It is what it is. Get in there, do what you got to do. Stick to the few rules that they have, like no below the belt, no biting, shit like that. But
yeah,
for the most part, it's just boom. Let's just go try to kill each other, and people are gonna clap for it, type shit.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of those movies, those old martial arts movies, everything was so clean. The way they were kicking, the way they were punching, it was just it was just different. And like that's not the way we look at fighting anymore. Like we want it like dirtier, almost.
John Wick 4 is a great example of that because of like I spoke about this on my episode that'll be airing at some point, but I feel like there was an evolution in those movies and the combat, and we got to like a really strong grapple floor style in this one. But at the same time, Keanu looks like he's slowing down a little bit, man, and I don't blame him.
I don't either, and that's why with this movie it was like, yeah, please, like
you did all of this, like, damn.
Hey, would you mind if I just run? I just gotta use the bathroom real quick. I didn't realize that. Yeah, so if you just want to talk about anything, please feel free.
Hey, no problem. So everybody, I'm the worst damn gamer ever. My channel's on YouTube as well. We were just discussing a few things and some great movies in the kung fu realm or martial arts realm of the past. Mix put me on to a few things. And basically, I was talking about my exposure to John Wick 4 recently, which really set me to a certain place with the vibe of it and all that stuff. And I love stuff like that comes up that makes you kind of sit and watch and pay attention to details and certain things like choreography of the fight scenes and the gunplay and stuff like that. So if you guys haven't seen it, ladies and gents, if you haven't seen John Wick 4, if you haven't seen any of the other John Wicks, I am a huge action fan, so I feel like they're worth the watch, and there's a story that goes along with them and gets to a bit of a conclusion, I suppose, in 4. So definitely recommend going to check those out. If you don't want to watch any of the other ones and you just kind of want to watch a good action flick that's got a bunch of fast-paced shit, because honestly, it's there's dialogue in it, don't get me wrong, but a lot of this last movie, especially since it's kind of the climax, the cinematic climax, it's very in your face with a lot of things, and it's very focused and driven on movement and getting things, but they do a great job at beautifully setting things and giving you scene changes and all this other stuff that play. And I'm a big person for set changes. I'm a big person for stuff like that. So for me, I almost feel like the whole background, the whole location shooting, design sets and stuff like that, even though they do a lot of on location, that's a character in movies for me. So I love seeing stuff like that. So even without the in your face action, or some of that story that's compelling enough to keep you there about the character of John Wick and the ordeals he gets into with the factions, I guess you can call it, that he's a part of, and where his life took him down in the world. I think it's something worth your time and your review. So please feel free. Make sure that if you do see that, I don't know if the Scene Snobs touched on it. I'm pretty sure he did at some point, whether it was a short or whatnot. But make sure you're commenting. Make sure you're letting us know what you think as well about some of these conversations, some of these movies or whatnot. So definitely looking forward to getting out there and seeing more. I created a list myself of about 50 or 60 movies. And I've been going down them. I'm about 5 movies in at this point. I got a bunch of stuff recorded and almost done editing, so that basically I can keep up to date and keep things scheduled to drop at the appropriate times when they're supposed to on a schedule and all that stuff. So, if any of you guys are interested in any of that stuff, you can always find me at The Worst Damn Gamer, pretty much anywhere, YouTube, all that stuff. But I'm having fun with these guys, chit-chatting things up, talking about all these different things, because Mick Nite is so dope to me, because it's literally just a bunch of us getting together and discussing things just on a kind of whim. Just dudes to just hang out, like movies, and do movie stuff pretty much every day. So it's like, yeah, why not just have a spot where we can all just come chill, chat, and fucking talk about a few things or whatnot. I really, really enjoy it. I hope you guys do. It's a great vibe, and it's a great thing to fucking be in a place of camaraderie and all that stuff where people no PP. That's awesome, Chris. That's awesome. Someone is calling me and I can't now, but it's okay. Sorry. Trying to think about what else. I mean, in the scope of martial arts movies or whatnot, what's some of your guys' favorite movies and such? What are some of the ones that stick out to you? I mean, automatically always enters in my head when I think martial arts is things like Enter the Dragon. Kind of both, because there's what was the one? So Bruce Lee had Enter the Dragon, I'm pretty sure, and then I forget what the, I guess, biopic that his son actually played himself in was called as well. But those are kind of the ones that always hit and come into mind. Karate Kid, Bloodsport. I know it's not really a karate movie, but whenever I think of that era in fighting movies, for some reason, Over the Top with Sylvester Stallone, the fucking arm wrestle movie, always comes into play. But American Ninja, like I said, Three Ninjas. Trying to think what else. There's so many others from my past that fucking I've always watched, and a lot of them that I never knew the name of because they were just always on, or my parents were playing them, or different people I was with. Yeah, Three Ninjas, exactly. Fucking Tom Tom, baby. Rocky, Tom Tom, and what's the third one? Come on, I know somebody out there knows. I always forget. And every time I say Rocky, I always think Bullwinkle. So that's wrong. That's 100% wrong. I always forget. I can't think of it right now. Now, I'm trying to think. What else can we count? I mean, technically, the Ninja Turtles movies can be count as a martial arts movies, and it kind of fits within the realm and time frame of when it was all big, because I think martial arts, in my opinion, was big from like the mid to late 70s and disco time and all that shit until probably early to mid 90s, where they were just martial arts movies with tones of martial arts uh lore and just like mythology and stuff like that, and just Far East stuff. I guess unfortunately, like Mick said, at least they didn't whitewash that one that we looked about the Capella. But a lot of the time that's kind of how it went. But that wasn't the focus for me or nothing like that. I've never really paid attention to none of that. So whenever somebody says stuff like that and points it out, I'm always like, oh yeah, you're fucking right. Kind of was, now wasn't it? Man with the Golden Fist, Kill Bill. Okay, Kill Bill I can count. Yeah, definitely. Man of Golden Fist, I don't recall. I'm gonna have to check that one out. Kill Bill 1 and 2. Kill Bill 1 and 2. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose it's tough for me because those are kind of odd framed movies to me, and the way they tell story. And I mean, that's what Quentin Tarantino, I'm pretty sure, right? So that makes sense in that scope. But technically, yeah, it is a martial arts movie. I mean, it's got sword action. It's got David Carradine in it, who played in fucking Kung Fu, the show or whatnot.
Fuck David Carradine.
Hey, I knew somebody was gonna say something.
Fuck David Carradine.
But still, we were just talking about martial arts shits, and then he brought up fucking Kill Bill, and I was like, yeah, technically, I guess it is. It has a sword, people fight and do a lot of martial arts and kicks and shit. And then I was like, wait, it's even got David Carradine in it, so technically, yeah, that's Kung Fu, baby. It's just the legend continuing even more.
Oh, I would 100% agree that that's a Kung Fu movie for sure. 100%.
It's hard for me to see it that way. Sidekicks. Oh yeah.
Oh, which one? Oh, the one with Chuck Norris and Jonathan Brandis. Yeah.
That's right. Forget about that one.
Man, 90s.
Always forget about that one.
It's weird. All right. It's weird to me how, like, in the 80s, horror blew up to oversaturation because of Halloween. Let's face facts. Halloween started that trend. And Karate Kid as well, like just into the 90s, blew up martial arts movies, dude. Like, and I'm talking about the American version of martial arts movies.
Okay.
Not like Sidekicks or Three Ninjas or Surf Ninjas or shit like that,
Gotcha. Because I was like, man, I don't know. I feel like in the 70s, man, Kung Fu movies was fucking big. Keep going. I got to stop at Walmart, then home. This guy.
Dude, we should sign off just as he gets in the green room.
Guys, I'm coming. Well, guys, I'm the worst damn gamer ever. If you want, you can follow me over to the Twitch channel or the Kick channel, and I'll be playing some Fortnite for you.
And I'm Mick, and I'm going to bed.
Horror is the greatest. Okay, listen. I will agree horror is a good genre. I will agree horror is a very entertaining genre. But I will never agree that horror movies are the best. Never, ever.
What would you say is the best?
I'm a die-hard kind of action adventure guy. Like, it doesn't have to be action with gunplays or shit like that, or tons of fighting. But if there's action and a story or like a journey to it, like I love treasure hunts. I love shit like that. You know what I mean? So if there's a lot of shit going on in that regards, then I'm all for it. But I gotta say, would say I'm more of an action guy than comedy. Than fucking comedy does what it does. It's meant to make you laugh and feel good at times, and that it usually hits unless you're not into that style of comedy that the movie is. But for me, I can almost never watch a super horrible fucking action movie. I can call it a bad movie, but at the same time, because there's so much action, if the action is good in it and the story at least holds up, I'm probably going to give it a little bit of a decent score. Like, I'm a little biased towards it.
All right. Fair. I get it. I don't know.
He said, Mick, you got to kick him out.
What do you say, Mick? You got to kick him out. Oh, Chris is a horror fiend, though. So I give him the credit on that. He loves horror. That's his go-to.
I will watch tons.
I don't know. Like, I wouldn't put horror as the greatest, personally, but I would agree that it's up there. They're doing some great things, and there's most of the originality comes out of horror.
Definitely will say horror pushes the envelope a lot in a lot of things. Visual effects and stuff like that, especially in the practical scape, is definitely something that horror does super well over a lot of other genres. I mean, comedy sometimes comes through with some good practical gimmicks or whatnot, but for the most part, it's a lot of the time the horror stuff, and it's the most inventive, it's the most creative, it's also the most imaginative with a lot of stuff, and you can get away with a lot of things in it.
Well, I'd almost argue that because it's the most left alone genre too. It's the one the studios care about the least. So it gives you that freedom to and they know they're going to make money off of horror. You know, if you take all the horror movies that came out just in 2022, right? Well, actually, let's do that. We're here.
I was going to say, how many for sure were there? Because I think I can only name probably 5. 4 or 5.
Way more than that.
Yeah, I know that. Believe me, I know there's a lot of fucking movies that just get dumped. But
even just the top picks, like if I didn't, well, let me see if I can find a list of horror films 2022. Okay, so I'm just going to go down this list first, right? Now you've already said about 5. I'm only going to name the ones that I know and I remember coming out.
Okay.
All right, and I'll count them off. So already I'm in the B's. Barbarian, Beast, Bodies, Bones and All, Bring It On, Cheer or Die.
Is that a horror version of the movie Bring It On with the cheerleaders and all that shit?
Oh
my God.
I shit you not. Day Shift, Deadstream.
Day Shift,
so that's 7. They're counting Doctor Strange and Multiverse Madness. I'm not going to. 7, although it was very much a horror movie for Marvel's standards. Fresh, so it's 8. Firestarter 9. Glorious 10, which you haven't seen. Glorious, you should. It's fantastic.
Haven't. I will add it to the list.
10. I did hear about Goodnight Mommy remake, so it's 11. Grim Cuddy's 12. Halloween Ends is 13. Ugh. Hellraiser 14. Hocus Pocus 2 counts. 15. How many H's? House of Darkness 16. You know, Jeepers Creepers Reborn 17. Wow. Kilroy Was Here. Kevin Smith directed?
Nice.
Anyway, I didn't even know. Like, did that come out? I didn't even know it came out. I'll have to look into that. So I'm just gonna leave that off the list for now. So Megan 20, Men 21, Morbius 22, Mr. Aragon's Phone 23, My Best Friend's Exorcism 24. Fuck. Nope. 26, Old People 27. Old Man 28, Orphan First Kill 29, Pearl 30, Praise 31, Pray for the Devils 32. Scream versus 33. Sick 34, Skinamarink 35, Smile 36, Speak No Evil 37, Spirited 38. Oh, does that count? Oh, that's an Indonesian film. Don't know that one. I'm gonna take that off the list. Studio 666 38.
Still didn't see that. Okay.
Terrifier 2 is 39. Talk to Me is 40. Although Talk to Me came out this year.
Okay.
Unless this says Australian, so it must have been so I'm gonna take it off the list because I didn't know it was an Australian film. But of course we stole another one. 34, 35, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I didn't even know there was a Terror Train 2. Ori Terror Train remake.
Nope.
Fuck. The Accursed. A friend of mine made that and I didn't remember it. 41, Blackening 42, Curse of Bridge Hollow 43. Fuck. The Invitation 44. The mean one, 45. That's the one with the Grinch. The Munsters,
That's awesome.
46. The Pale Blue Eyes, 47.
Oh, boy.
They, Them, I would 47, 48. And we're almost at the end, I hope. Trolls, 39. VHS 99 is 50. Vengeance is 51. Watchers, 52. Wendell and Wild's 53. That's pretty good too. Werewolf by Night's 54. And X is 55. So
Fuck
out
X.
of all of the movies, yeah, I liked X. It was simple, but I liked it. Out of all of the movies, which it doesn't tell me exactly how many there were, but it seems like it's at least double. I've heard of like 51 from 2020. So, and that's just heard of. I didn't see all those, you know. Right. So, you know, but I'll bet you most of these made money, you know.
That's the craziest part too. It's like you said, they leave it alone, but at the same time, they don't really give a shit, and they just go, just make something. There's more than enough people that are going to come. It's fine. Just put it out. Just put it out.
Chris, I respect your opinion, but I reserve the right to say I totally disagree.
Ooh, I thought Terrifier was pretty good. It was definitely creepy. It definitely had cringe moments for me or whatnot. Oh, yeah. I definitely think art is something of people's nightmares.
But
it's tough. So to say the GOAT, what would you say would be the GOAT then?
So here's the thing. All right. I'm a horror snob for sure.
Okay.
100%. I love you, Chris. And again, I don't mind that that's your choice. Like that, I'm not saying that's a bad choice, Chris. I'm saying I have to disagree. Like we're talking about it openly in a forum on a show like this. I'm going to disagree with you. I don't think he's the GOAT. I don't think it's the GOAT. It's a good movie and it's doing a lot for independent horror. So good on them over there. And I got nothing but love for what they're doing. I like the Terrifier movies, and I hate gore. But I hate gore because I think it's a sellout. I think it's a cheap move. Okay, if you're saying just for 2022, I'd agree with you. It had, out of all of them, it had the winningest year. I don't know that it's my favorite of 2022, but it was damn good, and I'll give you that.
So we're talking part 2 then, right?
Yeah, but just because they made it for like $130,000, but it made $5 million, like that's your highest gross, like right there.
That's a huge percentage,
you know? Big time, and it's all independent,
right?
So good for them, you know. Good. This is how you beat the studios,
right?
So that's why I don't know why more writers and actors aren't making independent films right now. That's how you beat the studio, because now you take that $20 million you have in the bank account. You grab one of the best writers you know that's not working, you pay them, or you buy a script from them that you want to do, and you get the movie made for less than $1 million. You're in it, or at least attached to it as a producer with probably other names in it. And you put this shit out, and this is when you get the awards. This is when you get the recognition. This is when it goes big. You don't want to do that because you want your paycheck. You want your padded paycheck to go out, and you know, you want everything hand selected for you, because if you select it, it lies on you. And because it's not making you any money, and all your agents and managers and everybody else don't want you to do anything. I don't know. I can go on tangents about this, but whatever. Fuck it. OG Halloween is my GOAT. Which they get a second episode of Discovering Horror then.
Yeah.
So for me, going back to what we were talking about with Terrifier, it's not like normally my type of movie. Like and it's not that I'm disgusted by gore, or freaks me out or skeeves me out. I don't care. It's more along the lines of like, it feels too easy. I like a good story. I like a villain that is more than just, all right, this guy's fucking Looney Tunes. You know what I mean? And that's all art is. He's just basically Looney Tunes. He does the most craziest shit. He is the Howard Stern of horror movie villains. And I would give that one for a long time in the 80s, probably to Jason. Because let's be real, for the longest time, it became about shock and awe. How can we make them feel so shocked or laughing or whatever? And it wasn't like story driven. And then it became story driven again and things like that. So when you like the Terrifier movies, as good as they're doing, as fun as they are, as different as they are, they're like the antithesis of the A24 type of horror, or the other elevated horror that's coming out. It is the antithesis of all of that. And I would even argue in its own right is elevated horror because it's doing things that are different from what our standards are today and succeeding. My point with it is they did something new, so I appreciate that. They added a new, very memorable character, villain, which has been a hard thing to do in years. If we're really honestly, truly being honest with ourselves, the last new horror movie villain character to be added that fits, and I'm talking about a property that was original, not a redo of a character that already existed, was Ghostface. And we really haven't gotten anybody on that level since then until Art. And that's good. It should be special. It should be something that comes around. Like, if we look at the Mount Rushmore of horror, everybody's is different, but for the most part, it's going to be familiar faces, generally most famous in the 80s. Or because it got famous again from 80s resurgence. So like a Leatherface, which started in 72, 73, or maybe even 74. My years are all mixed up. I will know because I'm going in as of tomorrow, I'm going in depth on Texas Chainsaw Massacre because that is the next episode I have to record and edit. Not the next episode of the show. So when you have like somebody like that, Leatherface became famous again because the first movie came out like again 73, 74. Second one didn't come out until 86. A lot of people seem to forget that like 12-year difference there was. And how if you look at the first movie and look at the second movie, they are insanely different products of their time. You know, that first movie is very visceral, very raw, very independent, and calls back to that time where more independent directors are starting to break out. Of course, it's funny because it comes off the heels of Exorcist, which more people are calling for horror. So somebody like Tobe Hooper, who's a horror aficionado, brand new director in the independent world, but he's mostly horror driven, and that's what he wants to do. And he steps in and he gets the notoriety for it, but he doesn't get the fame off of it. He's not like Steven Spielberg or Martin Scorsese or George Lucas of the time. But man, did he keep going. And but that second movie is purely camp and craziness and fits the 80s mold so well. You get Bill Moseley became a star off that movie. So you take the Mount Rushmore, to go back to my point. My horror Mount Rushmore would probably be Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, what's his name? Freddy Krueger, and Ghostface. Yes, you can ask me about Chucky, you can ask me about Pinhead, you can ask me about Leatherface, all of those. To me, when you and this is a judgment not on who's my favorite, because those four aren't my favorite. But those four are the most recognizable horror villains. Can we be real? Yes, more memorable than a doll with red hair, more memorable than a guy with pins in his face, more memorable than a big guy wearing somebody's face carrying a chainsaw. More memorable than a guy with a hook who has bees all over him. Those are very memorable horror movie characters. But the elite of the elite, in my opinion, are those four. Those are the Mount Rushmore. Those are the four horsemen of the horror movies. So if you go to that route, now I'm not saying that their movies or the franchises are the best of all time. Just talking about most memorable. Like the reason Mount Rushmore exists because those are the 4 most famous presidents. Nobody gives a shit. Even the guy who had it built knew, like when it started, he knew, yeah, I'm probably not going to be the guy on there. You know, so like you want that fame, because you want that landmark, and that's who the landmark would follow. Art the Clown. If I had to put levels to everything, and those are the top level, those 4 are the top level, and then you have the next level. Art the Clown's maybe at level 3 or 4, working his way up. And I do think he will work his way up and be memorable. I just don't think he's there yet. Not off 2.5 movies.
See, I feel like for me, he's there on the gore factor. You know what I mean? I feel like he's probably one of the most visceral, like, gut chew. He has fun. He laughs like it's fucked up. You know what I mean? Where Freddy's got his character. And honestly, I thought you were gonna say like the most shocking all person would be Freddy, because he's the only one who can actually talk and fucks with you and, like, you know, makes your dreams the worst thing possible type deal. You know what I mean?
Yeah, James brings up a good point. I like the creativity of the gore in Terrifier. It was fun Halloween night watch. And that's where I have to pay my respects. And like, I'm not a gore fan, but I like those movies. Because when you watch them, especially the second one, because it's a better story. The first one was just very, very visceral. Wasn't a great story. They kind of wrote themselves in a corner. I'm glad they wrote themselves out of it. Art's still around, doing his thing. He's some sort of entity, so now you can keep him going forever. So I love that they did that, and there's an origin there. But that second one adds a hero. That second one adds so many more levels to it. So now you can go many places with it, and that's what I like about it. But the gore was different from what I was getting everywhere else. Like if I'm watching an Ari Aster movie, or I'm watching what's the other guy's name? That's Robert Eggers, you know, and any of them who are great filmmakers, and they're visually blowing me away. Well, Robert Eggers' stories too, but Ari Aster, I am on record as saying how I feel about his stories, but beautiful filmmaker. You're getting on the other side of that in the independent world, you're getting Art the Clown chainsawing right through some woman from all the way through. Let's just say all the way through. So, and they're showing it. And it's insane, and it's crazy, and it's nuts, and it's in your face. And you need movies like that. But you need movies like that to be entertaining. I also hate the gore that's just gore porn. I don't count Art the Clown as gore porn. It has its gore porn moments, but to me, that's the practical. Those are guys who truly love practical effects, and that's why they keep wanting to add it in. And I respect that. You know? A lot of this other stuff sucks. Just Terrifier doesn't fit into the cookie cutter mold as most horror. I think it fits perfectly with old horror. I think it's perfect homage, brought up to date and renewed. That if you put out the first and second Terrifier movie in 1984, 85, right? Shocking. Probably wouldn't make it out in theaters without an NC-17 rating. But if you toned it down for the times where it would work, right? You leave Art exactly how he is, how he looks, everything. You tone down the gore because, yeah, there was gore in the 80s, but you do it to the 80s acceptable gore amount, not 2015's, you know? That movie's not going to be remembered. Art will probably be remembered. That movie probably wouldn't be remembered, and probably would end up like Phantasm, where if the first one did do well, studio would snatch it up, take Art the Clown, and it would be a completely different thing. And it would have gone nowhere. But yeah, I just don't think I think it fits perfectly today, but I don't know that it would have been I think it would have been bigger than most, but I don't know that it would have been as huge of a deal as it is today in the 80s.
So he would have been overshadowed and kind of laid to the wayside in the slasher realm, where now, since we don't technically have that many memorable or staple slashers, unless it's a remake type deal, that's what kind of sets him apart now. So it's a timing thing, is what you're saying.
Yeah. And actually, I'm getting corrected here by James, and I appreciate him doing this. I said Ghostface. It's probably most. I would fix that Jigsaw for sure. Jigsaw is definitely one that got added and goes down as one of those recognizable faces. Now, I would not put Jigsaw on my Mount Rushmore, but it definitely on the reserves list, like that second of like Pinhead, Chucky, those good Leatherface and Jigsaw. Like if I had a second Mount Rushmore, they'd be perfect for it. That's the B squad. That's the guys you want at night taking care of business. But no, I don't think it fits within the world of the first four. I think the first four are just too recognizable. And I think that works, and I like that. I like that about them, about that those movies.
And it's kind of an odd situation anyway with the Saw movies, The Shining.
The Thing.
Oh, the thing. I thought that said Shining.
Got the little spider head.
I guess that's one of those things that makes it a little bit off about that situation is that Jigsaw, like the Saw movies, most people don't recognize Jigsaw like in the old man most of the time. They familiarize Saw with the doll, with whatever the hell they can name the doll. I forgot the doll's name.
Yeah, so the pig face I think sometimes gets recognized too, but I do agree that it's
but it's doll. Not John.
That's true.
That was his name, right? John?
Something like that. I can't remember.
I think it was John. But I feel like that's the other downfall to that. Although it's ingenious and it's definitely some horrific shit to think about, a person who goes on this type of spree using contraptions and games, but in a weirdly righteously virtuous way type deal to kind of try to make people see the wrongs or try to right their wrongs type situation. That's the part that gets to me and makes it horrific. Obviously, we all know Saw 1 was just mind-blowing in the fact that you got through the whole fucking thing. And then the last minute and a half, 2 minutes is like that switcheroo on you. I still remember being on the floor of my RA's dorm room in college with like 10 other kids huddled in the room. We're all watching this shit. It's like 11, 12 o'clock at night. And that shit happens. And bro, I got up so fast, was jumping, was like, oh my fucking God. Motherfucker was right there. Motherfucker was right there the whole fucking time.
Oh, first movie, man. Yeah.
Blew me. Still blows me to this day when I watch it. I get to that point and the smile comes onto my face just before the review. And I'm just like, that shit still slaps. It just slaps.
Yeah. But it never, in my opinion, was the same. Like, I'm not saying that I don't like the other Saw movies. I do, but I'm not a gore porn guy. And that's literally what they are.
What it turned into, yeah.
It's literally what they're doing with it and where they're going with it. And those second ones are even thinner. As they went on, they got thinner on details and story. And like why this guy was here. So you've been training with him too. You just haven't shown up for 5 months. Oh, I got you. Okay. Yeah. And now he's coming back after they rebooted and got me interested. And it wasn't about the gore anymore. Now we have a detective story with the gore and it works. And I was like, this is elevating Saw to a new level. It's reviving it. It's revitalizing it. Granted, it didn't do well. Fucking COVID took a lot of shit out of it, but and it pissed me off. But Spiral was good, and it should have went on. And and you didn't even have to keep up with them, because now the book of John Kramer, as James says, John Kramer was his name. The Saw movie is my biggest guilty pleasure, and I can't wait for the next one. And I get it, and like I will watch the next one because I do enjoy him. But I know what they are. And it's the same as like when I watch Terrifier. It's like I know what they are. But at the same time, too, I can say that about any horror movie franchise.
Yeah.
I watch Friday the 13th, the franchise, all of them at least once a year. But I know what they are.
Right.
And I can appreciate them for what they are. And I think that's where we lose touch. Like we get so many people bitching and moaning like, no, this is the best. This is the best. This deserves to be on here. This deserves to be on there. And it's like, listen, I can tell you all day long what I love.
Yeah.
What are you going to put in your VHS
Yep.
player? You know,
Yep.
put in your DVD player. That's what it comes down to. And if that's what you love, go for it. Stop worrying about what the fuck I care about.
It's funny because Saw was probably for the longest time the one movie that people were like, "Oh, you like horror?" Which kind of like, what should I watch? Type shit. Have you seen Saw? Just because of the psychological shit, just because of the games and all that stuff. Like, but once they got to, I want to say it was like 4 or 5, and then they turned over from the girl was doing it, then the cop was doing it. Once it went to that, and that's what I thought you were getting at with, oh, it's a detective story, but then it has that twist at the end on that, the other blockhead looking cop, the pretty boy or whatever. But then I still haven't seen Spiral, so now I kind of want to see what direction they went. So if
That's what I'm talking about. That's the detective story with a whole new, revitalized the franchise, did something different, but kept it, like, didn't say Saw didn't exist.
Right.
It didn't take it to a new universe. John Kramer exists. The guy in this movie is modeling it after John Kramer stuff.
Okay.
So there's your connection, and he's trying to basically do what John Kramer did. I love it. And then, but you get a story behind it. You get the reveal of like, oh, who is this? What's his motivation? Why is he doing this? Blah 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 blah. And you have a detective you're following around the entire time. Like, and Chris Rock does a good job on it. So
I'm definitely gonna have to visit it. Definitely gonna have to give it a shot. Now,
thanks, bro.
Just to switch gears a little bit, because we talked so much about horror and whatnot. So then, what would you say is your favorite action movie, or what would you say? Who would you say are your Mount Rushmore of action heroes, action stars?
Action stars. Oh God, that's a great question. So, and the one I don't think about often. So, here's the funny thing. All right, if I'm making an action star, and I'm making, like, I can do this for every genre, right? And here's the thing. Like, Arnold Schwarzenegger may not be on my action Mount Rushmore, which when you hear why, I will argue to my reason why, but he would probably be on my sci-fi.
Okay.
You know, so like,
okay.
And I would have to think about that. So like, I'm not definitively saying that's the case, but James real quick says Spiral was the season of the witch of the Saw series. It dared to be different. Everyone hated it. And and it still think it's bullshit. Because all that tells me is all people want are the fucking gore porn and not a story to it. This gave you both, and I think it worked. And it got us out of the fucking John Kramer bullshit. But no, next fucking 2 years later, we're here and we're doing another one, and John Kramer's back. And I love Tobin Bell, but you shouldn't have fucking killed him in the first place. You should have just made him like immortal, like he's a monster or some shit. Whatever. Anyway, so my action Mount Rushmore. Definitely Sylvester Stallone.
Okay.
Mostly because he's had such a resurgence at a later age too.
Okay.
So like his whole life has been action. And for that reason, I would kind of keep Arnold off of my action list, because there were some people who action was their life, and those action movies were their life. I would put John Wayne on there.
Yeah. Okay.
He was, just for that, because he was the number one movie star for 40 years. And it was action, primarily war and action movies. So it'd be hard to be like, nah, John Wayne doesn't belong in it. In recognizable faces, he would be one. So if I have to do that, I would put John Wayne. I would put Sylvester Stallone. I would put. There's some good ones. There's some good ones, man. Maybe Steve McQueen.
Ooh, that's why I fuck with you, bro. You go for shit, That's why I fuck with you.
I'm maybe Steve McQueen, and then all right, if it's Steve McQueen, and that's a reserve right now. I don't know if I'm going to keep him on there, but as I think about all these things, because but I think if like I'm going to have a representative of that time, John Wayne's probably the best one because like he just kind of covers that whole gamut. And you have Sylvester Stallone, Jackie Chan. I'd probably put on there.
Oh wow, okay.
And it's killing me. It's killing me. All right. I realize that Bruce Lee. In fact, I would take Jackie Chan off, put Bruce Lee, and then maybe and that's not I can't have two Asians. I can have two Asians on there. It's not the case, but arguably I want the most elite of the most elite. And if he's the martial arts representative on there, which is a huge thing in action movies,
right?
I would put Bruce Lee up there. You know what? You know what? If this is action movies, I'm taking Bruce Lee off.
Okay.
I'd put Michelle Yeoh over Bruce Lee. She's had a career for over 40 years.
40 years, yeah.
You know, and primarily mostly action movies.
Yeah.
You know, not just exclusively, but mostly in it, and she's famous for action movies, and I think she deserves that top achievement. As much as I love Bruce Lee, now if it's martial arts movies, 100%, he's on there. But if it's action overall, Michelle Yeoh belongs on that list.
Nice.
Nice. But who? I want people who are famous for it, who are famous for action. You know what I mean? Like that's kind of where I'm going with this. And so like it's throwing me off because there's so many that did so many things. I'm not saying that you can't.
Right.
But like if you have Sylvester Stallone, you have Michelle Yeoh, you have John Wayne, his head would be exploding just having an Italian and a woman, let alone an Asian woman, on a Mount Rushmore with him, his head would be exploding. You don't think John Wayne's head would be exploding over that? Come on.
Probably.
I'm not going to call him a product of his times because it was probably just not, calm down.
Yeah.
But, all right. This is going to be controversial. People are going to hate it, but he makes some of the best action movies of all time.
Let's go.
Still does it to this day, atop of the box office.
Oh boy,
Tom Cruise,
bro. And I was sitting here thinking it's tough to put Tom Cruise or a guy like Jason Statham because I really like a lot of the shit he does. I loved Crank. I loved him in Expendables. I loved him even in fucking Fast and Furious. I think he's just a great fucking just like throw around actor. He does not mind taking a beating, taking a bruising, and doing shit. So I fucking love him. Tom Cruise, people give a lot of hate to because of Scientology and all this other shit, but you still can't deny the fact that man was in so many different types of movies, but a lot of them had some type of an action element to them, except for I forget what the movie is that he's sliding on the socks doing the dance and shit.
Because if you're coming to me and you're saying action movies, Bruce Lee was not really, he did action movies, but he wasn't a big time American movie star. He was a movie star over in China, which is no slouch. That's huge. And his movies did amazing and they were really good, but he had a very short career, unfortunately. And like, if we're talking like to put Michelle Yeoh on there, like I said, a career over 40 years, now has won an Oscar, I think she won the Golden Globe as well, but she's been in countless things and she's a better actor. And so if I'm talking action movies, I think of her before I think of Bruce Lee. So that from my Mount Rushmore in action, of course she's going to be on it. And Sylvester Stallone, Because he's a double threat. Well, he's a triple threat, really. He's a star, he's a director, he's a writer. So most of those action movies come from him.
Right.
In fact, the one time he went off and was like, I'm going to do something different, because he got tricked into it, was Stop or My Mom Will Shoot. And I still respect him for getting fired off of Beverly Hills Cop. And
wait, he got fired off of Beverly Hills Cop?
He was supposed to be in Beverly Hills Cop. It was a firing, but it was kind of like dude, I think we got to let you go. It's just not working. Sort of thing.
Wow. What role was he supposed to do?
He was supposed to be Axel.
He was supposed to be Axel?
But it wasn't supposed to be the comedy that it was. And he rewrote the script.
Sly?
Yeah, which he could back then. Like, he was a big writer. He wrote Rocky. So, and he was an Academy Award-winning writer at that point. So, and he was like a new director who was doing really well at that point. So, he had a lot of clout. So he could rewrite it. He rewrote the script, and they didn't like it. They're like, no, we want to do something different. So, I think we got to let you go on this. He left, and then he made Cobra.
Oh.
That Cobra was based on the script that he wrote for Beverly Hills Cop.
That's fucking dope.
Yeah. So I was like that. When I heard that, I was like, that's pretty awesome. But yeah, for the most part, that's that's why he belongs on there for me. I think he's a good fit for the Mount Rushmore and a good representative.
Nice.
And so I think Michelle Yeoh is too. I think she's more recognizable today than even Bruce Lee is. For film fans. Maybe not martial arts fans, but film fans for sure.
Yep. And
John Wayne, of course, is always going to be recognizable, whether it's for you're a fan or it's controversy or things like that. And then, my fourth would I think my fourth works. What do you think?
It works. So if it was my Mount Rushmore, it would have been I'm losing myself here. Bruce Willis.
That's a good one.
Jason Statham. There's no particular order here. I'm just saying them. Bruce Willis, Jason Statham, Jackie Chan, only for the simple fact that Bruce Lee's career was so short and we lost him so early that we didn't get a chance to see that develop, because it's hard to say, but I really do feel like and think that he would have been tenfold further along or past situations that Jackie Chan is in. I think the only reason Jackie Chan gets as big as he is because there is no more Bruce Lee type situation. I feel like he still could have had a great career, but I think he would have still been overshadowed by Bruce Lee going decades in type deal. You know what I mean? I don't think, I don't see for sure him getting roles like Rush Hour if Bruce Lee is still available or around. I could see Bruce Lee pulling off some of those comedy skits pretty well in it.
Yeah.
But other than that, all right. So what did I say? I said Bruce Willis, Bruce Lee. I like John Wayne. It's tough for me to say John Wayne or Clint Eastwood. I think they're kind of tied for a spot on there.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
And then what was the last one that I was thinking? Did
Clint
Eastwood I say Stallone?
One. No, you didn't say Stallone.
Stallone for sure. Yeah.
Clint Eastwood's a good choice. The reason I strayed away from Clint Eastwood is because he became more famous than his action persona through his directing. Like, he reinvented himself big time.
Yeah.
And even in all the years he's been doing it, I think even he would argue that probably John Wayne was like the bigger star at the time. Like, because even like if you walk up to someone and you're like, hey, do you know Clint Eastwood? Yeah. Do you know John Wayne? Oh, yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
That sort of thing. That's why I was like, I'll just go with John Wayne, because like you got to have that classic. But that's just me. But I think Clint Eastwood's a great choice for that too.
Yes, sir.
Also, action star Mount Rushmore is Keanu Cruz, Stallone. Can't think of a fourth person. That's a good one.
Ooh.
Tony Jaa, Stallone, Tom Cruise, and Statham. I think a lot of people are agreeing on Stallone and Tom Cruise.
Who's Tony Jaa again?
Tony Jaa was Ung Bak, I think.
Yeah. One Punch Man IP.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
Man?
No. Ip Man was Donnie Yen.
Oh, okay.
Chris said, damn, you got Mick speechless. Sure. Fuck Statham. That's my fuck. Oh, he's saying fuck Statham. You need a comma.
Yeah.
Fuck Statham. That's my fourth one. Good call. Don't just spout out fuck Statham. He might show up in the middle of the night. Cruise does majority of his own stunts and all that. Yeah, man, he kills it, dude.
It's tough too if you want to go and throw some mentionables in, because there's been a couple people that have played a couple roles of the same role, and they all did decent jobs in their own respect. So if we talk about the character of James Bond, right, we had fucking how many different James Bonds, but the most notable ones for me is Pierce Brosnan and Daniel Craig, and then the other one that's kind of like James Bond is the Bourne sagas or whatnot.
Oh, Jason Bourne. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like definitely puts, because who played Jason Bourne again? It was Matt Damon, right? The first few of them. Was there another actor?
No. So they did the first three
Bournes.
They did Bourne Identity, then Supremacy, and then Ultimatum.
Yeah.
And that was all Matt Damon. And then they went to Legacy, and it was basically saying like Bourne is a name that can be given,
like 007.
Yeah. And Jeremy Renner came back.
That's right.
And then they came back again with Jason Bourne, a new Jason Bourne with
and which I got so much respect for Renner off of those movies, and then leading into Avengers, and then that shit that just happened to him with him being fucking run over by his own goddamn tractor and shit, surviving. And this dude is like, honestly, the way he looks, he could probably still pull off fucking Hawk, you know what I mean? But it's like, he probably won't. I know he probably won't pull off another, Hawk, but at the same time, if this motherfucker gets on screen and comes back as fucking, oh my God, bro, like a whole new level of respect. I am never going to complain again about stubbing my toe, cutting myself, cutting onions, fucking getting splinters or paper cuts. Give me 1,000. Give me the worst. Give me a house of 1,000 paper cuts. I don't give a fuck, because now I got no reason to ever bitch or complain. Fuck old age and fuck my body being like, slow down. No, this motherfucker is old in some regards, and he got run over, and he gonna come back as an Avenger. Come on now.
Oh, we'll see. I don't know if he's coming back from.
Yeah, I know. I'm wishful thinking. I'm putting it out there. But
that money will be good for a little while, but we'll see how it goes.
He'll worst case, I think he'll transition to a lot of supporting roles, but he'll have, I think, some key roles where he's the focus and he's the main attraction. And I think he deserves it, honestly, because I've never complained about his character portrayals. I've never complained about his emotes or anything like that. So I honestly think he's one of those underrated actors, pretty much like Jason Statham. Like, and I know a lot of us agreed on Statham for the Rushmore, but I feel like they're just underrated. They're just slept on or just mentioned in a light, if that makes sense. Not in a huge spotlight. You know what I mean?
I mean, I'm with you on it. I like Renner. Singing voice of an angelic angel. I guess that's a fucking redundant.
Renner's great in the Mayor Kingston. I gotta check that out again. I gotta check that out again. Cruise does
definitely want to.
Majority of his own stunts, even at older. Yeah, and I'm pretty convinced Cruise is not even Cruise anymore. He's a replication, and he's just revitalizing every time he gets hurt. They figured out how to make cells generate again within him or something.
I know, right?
Because he looks like he's maybe like 10 years past Top Gun still, like, or the first Mission Impossible, let's say. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he looks younger than I am,
bro. And I know a lot of that's makeup and movie magic, but at the same time, man, fucking A.
I don't know.
Really, I mean, well, it also helps when you drink the blood of,
I was gonna say, I was gonna be like those, the fresh blood he gets every morning is probably nice. Yeah.
Yo, could you imagine? Is that something that's really something that was said? Like he gets like blood transfusions or something, or he drinks blood or something? Like,
dude, I've never.
I was just making shit up. I'm like, he's a vampire at this point. He is Count Dracula. He's from that time.
Oh yeah, you
Bob
know what?
Onderkirk.
I would not give it to Bob Odenkirk. I'm not giving you honorable mention on it. Mr. Nobody was awesome. or Nobody was awesome. Mr. Nobody's also good, but Nobody was awesome. But like, I would not put him on action star status. That dude is a great comedian, great dramatic actor. But yeah, it's can't do it.
Oh, okay. That's Better Call Saul, right?
Yep. No.
I was like, I never would have thought of him as an action guy, honestly. Interesting. Wait, he was in The Incredibles?
Was he? Oh yeah, I think he was in the second one. Or was he in the first one?
He was in the second one.
Okay. Yeah. I think I remember his voice. I think he was like one of their liaisons or something like that. It's been a long time.
There's a Nobody number 2? Huh.
They're probably working on it. That did really well.
Mr. Show. I'm gonna have to check out some of this stuff.
Mr. Show is funny. He and David Cross did that together.
Interesting. Yeah, I only knew him from Breaking Bad.
Oh, dude, he was so good in that show. I love that show.
Mm-hmm. And I still haven't seen Better Call Saul, so I'm slipping. That's
a good one. That's just as good of a show as Breaking Bad. And the funny thing is, it's such a different show.
Oh.
Because one of them's, a gangster essentially show, this big drug kingpin. And the other one is like it's just a law show, but it's so good. And he's so good in it.
Definitely want to watch it.
You should. It's great. It's 30 better hurry up. I'm going to bed.
It's funny. I'll tell you what lawyer show I just started watching a couple of weeks ago, and I'm hooked. The Lincoln
Franklin
Lawyer.
and Bash.
No, the Lincoln Lawyer.
Oh, what do you think? Yeah, I like the movie. I haven't seen the show though.
There's a Lincoln Lawyer movie.
Yeah, with Matthew McConaughey.
I never put that together.
Really? It's called The Lincoln Lawyer.
But bro, I never thought of that. I never realized that. I'm like, wait, I've seen that. I'm definitely gonna revisit it because I do. McConaughey can do no wrong. All right. You know what I'm saying? He can do no wrong for me.
I don't know. I think we can find a movie.
I'm gonna check it out. I'm gonna revisit it because I never realized that was that movie, and now this is a show rendition of that. But yeah, I like the show.
You didn't like the show with Bob Odenkirk and Cross? I thought it was funny. The original. I didn't watch the remake, or not the remake. When they redid it for, I think it was Netflix. I didn't watch it, but the '90s one I watched.
I didn't even know there was a '90s Lincoln Lawyer.
No, not Lincoln Lawyer. Oh, the show sucked. Oh, he's talking about the Lincoln Lawyer? I thought he was talking about Mr. Show.
No, Lincoln Lawyer. Sorry. Lincoln Lawyer.
I don't know.
I was like, wait, what? Oh, shit. Like, I got some more homework. This shit sucks. Not enough time in the day.
That's fucking hilarious.
I need to time jump so I can be able to watch them all, get it all done, come back, do reviews on it. Could you imagine the catalog of content if I could fucking time travel?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, go to Hugh Hefner's house. He had like every movie.
Did he really?
Yeah, and he had him on like film.
Wow. And I could see that. I mean, he's the guy. You know what I mean? Could you imagine people coming over like, fuck it, we're going to have a viewing at the mansion. Those fucking wild, crazy parties, lines everywhere and shit, boobs everywhere, and just fucking playing the movies. You got to be fucking dope.
So for the longest time, people had talked about how he paid for the Hollywood sign to be fixed back in the 70s, 80s.
Gotcha.
And it was, so I found out the truth, and that's not the case. It wasn't just him. So you could buy a letter, and each letter was like $20,000 to have it maintenance.
Okay.
And it was Alice Cooper and his wife, the rock star, who found that out because he was looking at it one day, and he's just like, I live here, and that's disgusting, and it's falling apart, and I want, but it's cool, and I want it fixed. So he called and he was like, how much is it to fix a letter? And then he had like a fundraiser to get all like his rich friends in, and they all came in and they all bought like a letter for $27,000. The H belongs to Alice Cooper. I don't know who else. I think Spielberg bought like 2. So that was pretty cool. I thought it was interesting.
That's super dope. Yeah. Never heard that story before. So he is the reason that now the Hollywood fucking sign is glorified, and in almost every shot, if there's a place that deals with California.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's awesome.
Well, he was the precipice. He got it started, and then a bunch of them just threw in. But yeah, Hugh Hefner was like a huge movie fan. He loved movies, so he collected everything. And he used to get to see things before like anyone else.
I bet.
You know, hey, come to Libretto. Come hang out at the mansion, and we'll watch a movie. We all know what's going to happen next.
Exactly. Who knows if maybe that was part of people's talent selection process, you know, for certain movies and such back in the 80s and 90s. Like, all right, we got to see the pair first.
Yeah, that's legit, dude.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Some shit.
So much shit.
80s, hell of a time, man. I often wonder if, even though I was born in the 80s, but if I was alive to be existing and experiencing the 80s, other than the tail end of it that I kind of recall, but not really all the time. Because
you're talking like 20s. You're in your 20s.
Like, yeah, like if I'm entered, like getting done with high school or whatnot, I'm picking out my little fro, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got my bell bottoms on and I want to go see some Night Fever Night, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. But I'm telling you straight up, I'd be dead.
Oh, I was going to say, it'd probably be bad. I tell people all the time, I'm so glad I was kind of, as much as this time period has its challenges and difficulties and such, I couldn't imagine if I was ever born in like the Wild Wild West. I wouldn't make it past fucking the age of 14 at noon. I couldn't imagine being in like Asian feudal time. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine because and watch your tongue, and I would have been sliced up from head to toe by some point for some reason for just.
Dude, there's so many time periods I know I would just be straight up dead. I would just be done. And like Wild West, fuck no. Like, could you imagine like just living on the frontier and then they start closing the shutters? Oh, they're out there. Like, who? Who's out there? What? Like, I don't want to do this. Fuck this. And then like if you don't, you die of dysentery, or you die of like who would go west? Fucking crazy.
All of a sudden you start hearing your name called out from the center square of the town. Wait, me? Wait, me?
Pick up your gun, sled belly. No, I'm good. You can call me a coward. I'm good. Fucking fine shooting at you, and then you shoot at me, and then we just keep shooting until one of us is dead.
Single.
I'm not dueling you
until the six loaders are fucking made.
I love how not non-grown up we were back in the day, where it was just like, yeah, you're a real dickhead. You really fucking pissed me off. Let's go duel. Right? One of us needs to lose our life today. What?
I watched a TikTok about fucking like it being made okay in like France or something. Come across, smack the guy with a glove. I challenge you to a duel, and then all of a sudden, one of y'all motherfuckers gotta go.
I think the best duel thing I've ever seen was on that Yellowstone 1923 TV show, where straight up the dude he kills like wild animals who are viciously attacking resorts in Africa. That's his job.
Oh wow.
So he's killing lions, he's killing fucking jaguars and shit. They're sneaking up at night, fucking murdering people. That's his job. Wow. And so like he falls in love with this girl and she leaves her fiance for him. They get married. This dude is like a scrangly little like British aristocrat. He walks up, does the glove thing. And this dude is like, this dude like got hit in the face and looked at his dad and he goes, "Is that your son?" He goes, "Yeah." He's like, "Do you want him to live through the night?" And he goes, "Yeah." He's like, "Then I suggest you get him out of here." And like the guy knew. The dad was just like, "Yeah, fuck no." All right. And so like they push towards the duel and they're on a boat. They're on like a big ship going towards wherever the fuck. And it's nighttime. This dude shows swords because that's the only thing he's ever trained in. And he gets his ass kicked real quick by the fucking badass Indiana Jones dude. And the guy's like, "All right, are we done?" "I'm done." He throws it down. So the guy grabs a saber and like charges at him to stab him. And he throws him over the fucking railing into the ocean. And I don't blame him, because legit dueling is fucking stupid. And I don't want to take your life, but I'm gonna if you're gonna keep trying to take mine. I never want to hear that back in the good old days or whenever, and I'm talking about like whenever, we were much fucking brighter and nicer and all this shit. Bullshit. There was a time where legitimately somebody was like, you know what would be fun to watch? On the death sentence, we have this giant blade and this mechanism just come down on top of their head. They wouldn't know what's going to happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen. We're just going to sit there in the town square and watch it happen. And at some point, it's going to fall and chop this dude's head off. We made that. And that was a standard, even in this country, for a very long time. A guillotine. So, if that was law at one point, if hanging a dude was law at one point, like you could legit catch a dude, shoot him dead, bury him, and be like, "Bad guy gone." I don't agree to it, but I like if that's how you live, fine. We actually had to come up with ways to kill people, not quicker, more entertainingly. And that's and anyone from the past is going to say to me like, well, we were just more civilized. No, you weren't. No, you weren't. You never were. There was never a point. You may have dressed nicer. You may have worn suits. You weren't more civilized. Because I guarantee you, and I understand I'm pontificating a little bit here, but I guarantee you, even if it was 50 or 60 years ago, there's somebody with a different skin color than you or a different gender than you who is saying you are not more civilized. But I guarantee there's nobody saying that about me right now. So, or they can say it, but I don't know who the fuck's saying it. You know, like, but you see what I'm saying? So, like, it's that. Stop telling me you were more civilized. You weren't more civilized. You used to fucking shoot each other because you were mad.
It's like, can you even really argue the fact, oh, we had more patience? You guys walked around with a gun on your hip all the time, and this is what your way of life was. This isn't like, oh, you scuffed my Jordans, now we're gonna duel. This was, fuck, you looked at my horse the wrong way, you stole a piece of land, you looked at my daughter or my wife, so now you gotta go. Like,
I'll do you one better. Let's take a journey back in time to when we were more civilized. Christian people.
Let's stop.
Here we go. Ready? Let's travel back. Let's travel back to a time when you could be the mayor of a town, or you could be the pastor of a town, which is basically the mayor of a town, leading the town at times. And you could sleep with any number of women in that town that were married and most likely knock them up. And you know what would happen when they would come to you in secret and say, I'm having a baby? He's going to ask. He would say you were a witch and have you drowned. And what did we do in this civilized country with that when so many women were being murdered because men didn't want to admit that they had affairs with them? So they just murdered these women. We wrote books about the lore of it, made them mystical beings, and now dress up like them for Halloween. Not even scary anymore, sexy. So we have turned to a point of irony where these women who probably had it very hard in a time that was very hard and were being lured in by men of God and men of power and probably having extramarital affairs, were now being murdered for those extramarital affairs to keep it secret. So you couldn't even talk about the sex. She didn't even get a chance before she was accused of being a witch to say to her husband, no, I had sex with him. Now he's telling everybody I'm a witch. Like, she didn't even get the chance to do that. And now, 300-400 years later, literally women are dressing up as sexy versions of them and going out to get laid on Halloween. And these women died. And it's just what it is. So don't tell me we're more civilized. You were more civilized back then, because I will take the women dressing up sexily as the witches and making it a more normalized thing then murdering them in droves. Like it got to the point they had to start murdering the men because they were running out of women. Like, I actually don't know if that's true. That's not a real fact. And I should pull in a historian, and it probably is true. But God damn, is that sad?
It's a good story. It's a good story. I'd read it.
Dude, like whenever people start doing that shit to me, and they're just like, "Well, what about this?" and like, it wasn't much more civilized. Something like, no, it fucking wasn't. No, it fucking wasn't. You fucking nutbag.
Everybody was always more on. I guess you could say everybody was more on eggshells, and it was kind of just a commonplace because you never wanted to cross somebody the wrong way. You never wanted to say something the wrong way. You always were sure that you came through in a certain tone and it was received a certain way. Even if you were coming for somebody, it was still kind of like, is that so? You know what I mean? And that's kind of it. And then all of a sudden you're in the middle of a duel, or your whole family's being fucking targeted or tortured, or, the town goes against you or whatnot. It's just, I've seen those episodes of fucking Ponderosa.
Yeah.
Fucking Little House on the Prairie and fucking Bonanza and shit. No, but it's insane to think like I would assume that you just had to be always a little bit more PC or political, I guess, at that point in of time, because again, everybody understood consequences, everybody lived short lives, everybody's had somebody pretty much at some point that was fucking part of the duel, or lost their life because of some other shit, or was framed for some shit, and it is what it is. That's what homie from the town said, and he saw you, so we're locking you up. You know what I mean? So everybody was a little more touchy on certain things, I would say.
Dude,
and they were all liquored up too the whole time, so it's like, what the fuck?
Not from 1930 to
well, yeah, then it got dry a little bit, but it didn't get dry, it just got stronger.
Dude, holy shit. So my great grandfather owned a speakeasy.
Okay.
And that was where the police drank.
Oh wow.
We're not more civilized, we're more complacent. I see, this is where I disagree with you. I don't say that we're more complacent. I'm not saying that this generation is complacent. We're all complacent within our world of consumerism and everything else that we're fed. We're all complacent. We're all striving for the same bullshit that everybody was striving for 10, 15, 20, 25, 20, 100 years ago. It just looks a little different now.
Right.
My big thing with this is we are more civilized. We have people who aren't civilized, but I do think that it is shifting that balance of civilized, because I do think even people who you might consider uncivilized in certain ways are becoming, even in the past some odd years, more civilized. That is not to say that uncivilized pieces of shit do not exist. It's just we see them more now, I think, because in a whole we agree this is not a way to be, this is not a way to go, this is not a way, and we ask more questions than they ever did. And that's where I think we're coming out of it. Are we a civilized generation? Absolutely not, and we won't be for a very long time. But I think it's on its way. We don't duel anymore.
Yeah.
No, we don't exist. We're all in the Matrix. Take the red pill.
My fear is under what guise of what's going to be the cost of that civilization, that civilized civilization. We've seen movies like SLM, we've seen movies like The Day After Tomorrow, we've seen movies like The Matrix and all this other shit, Terminator. Which route is it going to end up going? That you think humans are just finally one day in one generation going to be like, so glad we got to this point, and now we know all of the wrongs and what we shouldn't do and how we should run things, and it can be all fair for almost everybody type deal? You know what I mean? Or do you think it's going to be like, nope, it has to be under some type of totalitarian or under some type of fucking dictatorship or something like that? You know what I mean?
I don't think it needs to be. I think that's where it is. But I think that's where the civilized comes in. And I think it comes from a point, speaking to what you were asking, Will we see that again? Yeah, I think we'll see that again before we get to it. But I think few and far between as we go on. There's always going to be people who want power. There's always going to be people going after power. And it just comes down to the people and how much they're willing to let go of. And I think at a point in our lives, and that's why I love the United States, I love America, you do not get to see freedom. What's up, sir? You don't see freedom the way we see it. Like, yes, we talk about freedom, we talk about this, we talk about all that stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of shit that costs too much, but like idealistically, freedom, we have way more than almost every country. There's always something knocking us down. Now, that doesn't mean that we don't have a government that does the same. So people can argue all aspects of it. I get it. It exists. What I'm saying is the level of freedom that we know here is really, truly unlike any other. And even now we're seeing when you start taking freedoms away, even if I agree with that freedom or not, and I'm talking to like the Roe v. Wade being overturned and people who, there are people who don't agree or are pro-life who are fighting and saying that was dirty and that was wrong. And there are people fighting it and just being like, this is a woman's body issue. Now, we may not agree with abortion, but you're coming after women's bodies more. Yeah, so like there's a lot to argue there. And there's a lot of aspects to it. But you start taking away certain freedoms, people push. And I think we're at a point right now where it's just kind of a subtle pushback. But if there's any more real push, and this is not an original quote. My father said this years ago, and I agree with him. And he's a stark conservative, but I still agree with him on this. There's no better fighting machine than an American who's pushed too far. And I'm not saying that to I do have a level of patriotism to me. I do love my country and I love where I'm from. That doesn't mean I'm unwilling to help other countries or support or learn about other cultures.
Yeah.
And that's the way it should be, but I do love my country. I love where I'm from. I love the people who are here, and even the people who are coming in this country, no matter how they are, they're American to me. So when I hear things like that or see things like that, I see people pushing back, and the newer generations especially are like, you fucked up our world. We don't want you anymore. And they're circumventing things. So
it's tough. It all comes down to the time period you're in and the context you're in, because we can talk about civilization, being civilized, and or being, having civil rights and freedoms. But at the same time, if we think back to things like in eras of the Roman Empire, where that was a democracy and there was liberties and freedoms, but yet they had things like the fucking Colosseums and throwing people in the middle of it to kill each other for entertainment, or emperor who literally 14 years old decided to just release poisonous snakes into the crowds just to watch and see what happens as entertainment. You know what I mean? Or fill lies about townspeople or whatnot, even though they invited them in, impregnated them, and then, like you said, but then people had rights and freedoms there too to be able to do stuff. And then if we talk about our early generation of our country completely now, where do you feel we have the most freedoms? Is it back then when the Constitution was first made, because those were the guidelines and that's kind of how they stuck to things and that was it? Or do you think it's now where it's become this whole elaborate, over circumvented and over analyzed and over thought out, and everything gets down to the last little thing, and then it's worked in a way to make an agenda be the way it is for certain people who are in power? Like, I almost feel like at the beginning was the first time people truly had certain freedoms, and then we get into times of like the Wild West and then shit goes awry.
Well, there's always some level of degree of freedom, especially when it's a new land. There's always going to be some level of, and now it's harder because we live in a world with 8 billion people. There's not a whole lot of new territory to conquer. So like space is the next one, and that's where you'll see like, oh yeah, I live on Mars now. Complete freedom. I'll do whatever I want. But there's always limitations to freedom. You can't walk outside in Mars, right? So my point to that is we are at a point right now where America is is in the transitional period of turning into an empire. And it has been for the last 40 years or so. Not to say that it wasn't set in motion many years before that. Of course it was. But it wasn't on that level. And I do think that at one time or another, we had a lot more imagination and a lot. See, this is where it gets tricky, because I think we're more civilized now than we ever before, but we are less idealistic, and we are less, we are certainly less imagination driven, and it sucks, because that's what caused us to go out and do those things and to learn new things and to be on the right side for a long time. Every empire that's ever existed in life, you said the Roman Empire, but if you think about every empire that's ever existed throughout life, has fallen and always will. Like you said, to take Rome into consideration, Rome fell because for many years Rome was not free. Rome was a civilized, probably at one point or another, the most civilized this world has ever been. Even after, I would say maybe the British Empire with that, and then us. Now, there are other empires, of course, within that time, but Rome was a pretty civilized and pretty technologically advanced for its time empire. And it's a vast empire. What took Rome down was its own bullshit from within. It stopped trusting senators, started having Caesars. Those Caesars couldn't be trusted. Now the Senate, and it played out just like Star Wars. You want a good idea of like what happened to Rome? Watch Star Wars. The one line he throws away was like, those emperors finally disbanded the Galactic Senate. That is in the first 5 minutes or whatever of Star Wars: A New Hope. And I think people miss that, because then you go back to the prequels and they're like, what's this Senate shit? Well, he talked about it. That was the freedoms that existed throughout the galaxy. And they were taken away because we voted in power. And that's what happens. Ultimate power corrupts all. And I know I'm not saying anything new, but when I think about these things and I think about where we're at, we are dangerously turning into an empire that's run on business. And businesses fail all the time. We need to be more idealistic. We need to be more imagination driven. We need to be explorers again. We need to keep pushing, but we need to do it with a new outlook of how we deal with things in terms of equality and things like that, and push forward. And I'm going to say it here, and I know I'm the only one who is probably, and I might get lambasted, might not, I don't know, but I've said it before. Until religion in a whole, but definitely Christianity in this country, becomes the very much minority, we're never going to get anywhere.
Interesting.
That is not to say you shouldn't believe in God, or you can't believe in God, or I think I believe in God, believe in Jesus, but religion is what is destroying things. Because there's no progression. You can't hold on to the past and revere the past, which we shouldn't be doing anyway. We should be revering God, but whatever. You can't revere the past. Take that past that you're revering, mold it however you want, from one church to the other, being different, how you tell everyone to be, and then turn around. And I'm not even talking about the controversies that go with churches. And then turn around, do all those things, do all those teachings, change things, and expect it to last forever. It's never going to last forever. So, not to say that, again, a sense of religion is important. A sense of a deity is important for a lot of people. That's a part of that imagination. I'm not saying, but if you're holding on to the past, it's going to stop progression. This is not what Mick Nite is. I just want to be high and talk about nerdy shit.
I'm wondering what the fuck I walked in on, because I'm just like,
a lot, man.
I'm like, the past couple of Mick Nights, we're laughing and shit. I even
started that way.
I popped in when I was at after the comedy show, I popped in. We were getting ready to leave CrossGates. Had to run and take a piss real quick. So I pop in the show, leave my comments. It was funny then. And I'm like, all right, let me hurry up, get home. Stop at Walmart, get home. They're talking shit, they're laughing. Then I come in and it's all this serious shit. I'm just like, well, that's why I was so quiet when I first came in. I was like, I don't even know what the fuck to say on this.
It was only a few minutes before you started that it went down this road, which I didn't have any intent either. It's just the question just kind of rolled that way with something else that was said.
I get it though, because I know how conversations can roll and grow and go and all that shit.
Mm-hmm.
So I get it.
Dude, can I just say, you should have just stayed home. Fuck Sal Vulcano. That dude is the least funniest Joker. And that's saying something because Murr's not fucking funny either.
I find them all funny. But no, he was funny. He has a pretty funny stand-up. Pretty funny. It's not like I didn't find him hilarious, but it was funny.
He's the whiny one. Like, okay, here's the problem. I love the fucking Jokers. And I love because that was us. Like, that's what you did. That's the fun you had. You fucked with each other in different public places.
Even still now to this, like, that's just guy friendship. Literally guy friendship. Like, if this way, here's where listen. Here's how I'm going to explain guy friendship for everybody out there. For everybody. See, I have the power to bring myself back. I did that as he was bringing me back, so it removed me. But no, the way we all crack on each other and do all this, like the way Mick just did that, boom, that's guy friend shit right there.
You just bust each other's balls.
Yes.
Yeah, dude.
If it's not happening to you in that guy friend group, either you're too new, or
they don't like you.
They don't fuck with you like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, it's funny when I watch that show. I'm like, first of all, Joe and I would be friends, but I would have to be a dude I like see every once in a while. He's too energetic. Brian and I would be fucking cool because actually, and it's funny because a lot of his friends I know.
Oh shit!
From that, because he's friends with that whole Kevin Smith crew, and I know a lot of them just from growing up there and meeting them and different things, and so like I know I'd be cool in there, you know, like it would work out. Murr's too uptight. I would get annoyed with him real fast. And I know lots of guys who are like him. They're just very business oriented and they think they're just very fun, but they're very snobbish. But still, like, he's down. Like, you can have a good time. Like, if I grew up with him, I'd be friends with him because he can still have a good time. He still gets fun.
Mm-hmm.
Sal would be the guy that's like, all right, I got to go home early from this party. This dude fucking whines about everything. And I know too many people like him. And I'm just like, I think I've grown up to be him. Because, like, there are times, like, I see my kids doing something. I'm just like, no. Like, no, that's too much of a mess. I'm not doing this. And, like, then I walk out of the room. I don't even have to say no. I'm out of the room. What does it matter? But I'm like, I saw it. So it's over. And now I'm just annoyed. So it's like, just stop. Stop with the kinetic sand everywhere. Now the dog's eating it and shit.
Is this what's going on, or is this what you're picturing going on before it even happens?
Listen, I know lots of things that annoy me. So I know Sal very well. As I got older, I just got more curmudgeon-y. But he's always been like that, so it's just annoying. Chris is like, I just want to talk about deep shit. I don't want to talk about
No, you're good. I'm here with you. I know what the impractical jokers are and everything.
Chris wants me to get real deep. He wants me to start talking about my time in Vietnam.
No. I mean, if you want to, are there any good stories? Like,
blew up 50 of them. One fell swoop.
Okay, cool. Moving on.
That's right. It was 2016, Vietnam.
So,
2016.
Tropic Thunder style.
Tropic Thunder style. I was on a film set.
So you were Robert Downey Jr. is what you're saying.
Fuck no.
He was in red face. Look at him.
No.
Look at him.
I'm always red face. I'm super high.
Oh man.
That doesn't count. Oh no.
I love it.
I'm not fast enough to get picked on tonight.
Nah, you're good. You're good.
I'll be too slow. I'll take it, but I'll be too slow. I'm not coming back with any good ones.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the person that brought up civilization either. So don't throw that. Don't put that on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you put that on me.
Who put it on you?
I don't know. I
I'm
think
the
that was, no, I'm
flag.
you. You were like, oh, he wants to talk about deep stuff. I'm not the one who started the conversation.
You
I think
started
something came up.
civilization with
Did
duels.
something come up in the in the chat
You shouldn't have
about
said
how
duels.
civilized we are?
How did you not know that duels was going to set me off on a tangent that got me down to religion in today's day and age?
I gotta be careful.
Know this, dude.
I gotta be
Like,
careful.
all
I gotta be
kinds
careful.
of- Dude, there's this one guy's show that I don't know if I'm probably never going to be asked back, but whatever. I actually have been asked back since, but I was told to tone it down. But his Christmas episode, he always goes all out, and it's like a top 10 episode. So like he always goes all out for Christmas. So I go on and I'm Santa Mick and I do my thing, and it just because the first time I went hard on the Catholic Church just because to be shocking on a show, and like I went hard. I was like, here's the list of crimes that I don't like that the Catholic Church did. And like I would just go.
Holy shit.
And like this guy's like, well, all right, we have sponsors. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's good. I won't curse anymore. It's fine. And fuck the church. And then I would just keep going. And then it became a joke because everyone on the show is like, how is he still on? How are you gonna ever invite this guy back? And he did the next Christmas. And he did. And I'm like, that was a bad idea. But he did under the thing of like, well, Mick's going to be here and he's going to set things off and it's going to be crazy. And, Mick can be. And I'm like, I was like, here's the problem with that. If you had just said, like, dude, can you tone down? Let's not do that. Yep, no problem. I'm professional. I can do it. But I'm also not civilized. So when you say that and you're like, oh, and it's passive aggressive, like, yeah, of course I'm gonna fucking do it again, and I'm gonna make it worse.
Hang on, before you finish, did we know each other at the time?
Yeah, I think so. I think at least by the second one we did.
You should have tried to get your black brother in there, maybe even your Puerto Rican one too, and James. We'd all and say some crazy.
He has a black co-host, so like I mean, there are some.
I'm just saying, just to have your back in that situation where I was like, oh, it's just Mick gonna be Mick again, and like, all right, he has to Mick it up. We got to Mick it up with him.
I got to give him credit. Listen, sometimes, maybe not, but in this episode, it looked like the brand new box of crayons that's out in Walmart. I know you know what I'm talking about. You were just
I'm looking at crayons though, but yeah.
So like I went on and I told some stories. Nice. And I had some fun. And I rallied against the church. And the funny thing was he announced at the end of that episode that they're going to start on the radio in Ohio, I think it was. I think it's Canton. I'm not sure, but it's an Ohio radio station. And I was like, I'm definitely not getting invited back.
Nope.
And I did get invited back for another episode that wasn't Christmas. And it was like, can we tone it down just a little bit? And I was like, yeah, no problem. Then the passive aggressive shit started happening again. And I went on there and I was like, I'm going to be good, but you're going to get a few zingers on this radio station.
Nice.
Ohio's not going to like Mick Manhattan.
There you go. That's weird.
So it kind of worked out that way. But thank you, Chris. I appreciate that. I do. That's always sweet.
You weren't invited back again, were you?
They'll always have me back. I think. Like, as long as like they're not me saying that, as long as they're not taking that as like, oh, this guy's he's an asshole. Like, fuck him. Like, if he's gonna say stuff like that, we're not gonna have him back. But like, if they realize like me saying they'll always have me back is like because by the end of it, we still had a good relationship. So like that's why I say it. Like, I don't feel like there's bad blood. And I didn't do it to be mean. Like, I didn't do it to tear apart their show, but like, I'm an asshole.
He was upset. He was upset because NSYNC didn't let him join the group. That's what he was all. That's why he did that. He was just letting his anger out from years.
He was mad because the song "Bye Bye Bye" was to him.
Them kicking him out the group.
Dude, pictures of me in fucking high school. Oh god. Yeah, I was that guy. I showed that.
Like, it's one thing to compliment your boy, but I'm like, I'm 37 years old. I don't want to compliment your high school pictures. Like, damn, man, look at that.
Dude, all right, guys, I'm gonna show you some pictures.
Oh shit.
Pull out your dicks.
No.
Okay.
Oh, okay. You don't have to show them to me. I don't want them on the camera.
First
We're
of all,
gonna go to the
Sturdy,
OnlyFans for that one.
this
Yes.
motherfucker's intro. I don't know if you heard it or not.
I didn't.
It's just made its way full circle at this point. Let's just say that.
I gotta see the intro. I gotta watch the beginning of the
What
episode.
did I do? What was my intro?
Welcome to Mick Nite, where we discuss dicks.
Oh shit! I brought it around full circle. I'm fucking good, dude.
Oh my gosh.
I'm good at this shit.
Oh,
You
my God.
love it. If you didn't like it, you wouldn't be on the show. Shut up. I don't want to hear it.
I was dying, bro.
So here you go. All right. So here I am in high school. It's me on the right. Fucking looking cool. My Bulls jacket, my starter jacket.
Yeah, boy.
Then here's me at show and tell with my grandmother's Holocaust pillow.
Oh, nice.
Let's make one.
That is not a Holocaust pillow. I took that off another teacher's desk.
Okay.
I'll tell that story in a second. And there's me at my graduation party. I
Jesus Christ! Why the fuck are you so tall in that picture?
I was like, he's like
You're
6'9",
tall.
man.
6'8", dude.
But that, like, I know you were tall in every single picture, but that's like the first picture I seen of you. Where I'm like, this motherfucker's tall.
Yeah. No, I was really tall. And like I was still like at that point, I think I was like 6'3" or 6'4". I was still like the same height as my mother.
But what the
Yeah,
fuck? Your mom's that tall?
My mom and dad are both 6'2".
Bro, he's from the giant bloodline that fucking used to live in
and I
the
get my-
goddamn Grand Canyon.
I get my height from my mother's side because my uncles are all like my height. So, and they were all basketball players and shit. So the height all comes from her side. My dad's side was tall too.
Mhm.
Like, he was probably the tallest in the family. My grandfather was also like 6 foot. So for like their time, they were like really tall. But yeah, I get my height from my mother's side. It's crazy. Because my brothers are my half brothers. They're my older brothers, and they're from my dad from his first marriage, and they're like 5'7" and 5'9", and it's fucking hilarious.
Oh,
I don't drink anymore, but when I used to get drunk, I used to pick them both up and dance around with them, like off the floor, like their feet were dangling, and they would get so mad because like everybody's laughing because everybody knew who we were, and they're like, oh, there goes the Kimmel Boys, mixed drunk. And like I'm just dancing around, and they would start hitting me, both of them, both sides. I'm a fucking tank when I'm drunk, so like whatever. I'm just having fun. I'm like, let's dance, let's do this. And they're just like, stop, let us go. And I'm like, no, I just love you guys. Let's do this. And it was all love. That's all it was.
Yeah.
It was love. Like it was just like I just want to dance with my brothers. Let's have a great time. You know, the little brother picking up. They hate that shit though. That drove them crazy. Yep, Jolly Green. I heard them all.
Oh man, I'd be so confused in that type of situation, especially like the first time it happens. Like, what the fuck is? Why is he picking me up like this?
Oh my god, dude! When I got taller than them, that's all I did. It was over. I was like, I'm just picking them up. Now I'm old. I can barely even pick up my wife. My knees don't work. Like I'll pick her up, and then it's just like my knees are just like, you're not gonna walk. And it's like, all right, fine. I put her down. Like, I love you, but I'm not making it up all those stairs with you. I was like, I'm not making it up all those stairs with me.
Just do a Photoshop where it looks like you're just bringing her up each step. You took a picture on each step. That's all, and hold her again at the top of the stairs.
That's
Same thing.
true.
People don't know.
That's cute.
We'll find a good place for her.
That's cute.
What's cute?
The way he just said, you know, and
you and your
wife
thought you
and
were-
everything.
I never know because you're always staring at a screen when you say stuff. So I'm like, he's looking at pussy.
It was a cat. It was a cat.
And it turns around and it's a picture of like a cat.
It's a cat
Oh
video.
my
It's just
God.
a cute little cat video.
He's watching the Garfield live action movie with Bill Murray as the voice, the movie that Bill Murray hates. He's just sitting there watching it unironically, like, this is a good movie. I need to do a movie matinee on this.
There you go.
A midnight matinee on this.
Seriously.
Oh my god.
Live action Garfield movie. Holy
Do you know how he got tricked into doing that movie?
How?
money?
He didn't really get tricked. He did get an ass load of money. So, all right. Quick connection story, real fast. See, when I'm high, I just tell stories.
Jolly Green Giant.
In the 80s, Bill Murray played Peter Venkman in Ghostbusters, right?
Yep.
And in the 80s, they made a cartoon off of that. And I can't remember the voice actor's name, but a different voice actor played. He wasn't Bill Murray. It was another guy. He was a famous voice actor at the time. He played the voice of Peter Venkman on the cartoon. He also played the voice of Garfield. So, like, it was always like that connection of like, so, you got to get Bill Murray to play him because then Bill Murray played both characters in live action versus, and that was always just like, if you're fans of it, like I loved Garfield growing up in Ghostbusters, so blah, 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 blah. Go down the line a little bit. It was written by a guy named Joel Cohen, but not Joel Cohen, and Ethan Cohen from the Coen brothers.
Right.
There's another guy named Joel Cohen who spells his last name differently, but Bill Murray didn't know that. So he's like, he got the offer and he was like, yeah, it was written by Joel Cohen, blah, blah, blah. You want to read the script? He goes, yeah, man, Joel Cohen wrote it. Absolutely. Like, I want to do this movie. It's going to be amazing. So he signed on to do it, thinking it was Joel Cohen who wrote the script. And it turns out it wasn't that Joel Cohen, and he was stuck doing 2 Garfield movies.
Wow.
So, long story short, that's what it was.
Hey, I wish some shit like that would happen to me and I make millions of dollars.
Well, you're in luck because Sturdy and I are here to tell you that fucking not going to happen.
We're here to tell you you're fucked.
Are you drinking lemonade?
No. Not a sponsor, and definitely I wouldn't want this to sponsor my shit. Don't buy this Prime. This Prime stuff is nasty. I bought it because the bottle looks cool, and I was like, let me try it. I'm thirsty anyway. I'm leaving Walmart. But I made a mistake. This shit's fucking disgusting. Don't buy it.
Is that a Gatorade product?
Yeah, it's Jake and Logan Paul's, I think, product.
No, I think it's just Logan Paul's.
Oh, there you go.
Oh.
Logan Paul, KSI, and some other people. But it's fucking nasty. I don't care.
My fucking kid keeps rallying about that shit. Like because now he's in the 6th grade, so he's middle school. So he's like, he's cool.
Okay.
And he's cooler than I am anyway. And he comes home and he's like, I need Prime for football practice. And I'm like, fuck is Prime? What are you talking? You drink a bottle of water. What are you talking about? And he's just like, no, Prime. Everybody's drinking Prime. And I'm like, that shit isn't happening. I don't know what Prime is. He goes, I think it's Gatorade. So I think he's bullshitting me.
Well, I guess it's supposed to be because there's no sugar in it really. There's 1 gram of sugar, 25 calories. Like it's supposed to be a hydration drink. It says like this is hydration. It says hydration drink right on the bottom.
It's like electrolyte
but
water
it's
and shit.
nasty as shit. Dude, listen. Don't waste your money on this if you want to drink it for yourself. If you want to give it to your kids, fuck it, give it to them. But don't drink it for yourselves, adults.
I'm not giving it to my kids.
I'll
That shit's
stick
poison.
some Powerade and Gatorade. Fuck it.
And I'll tell you right now, and I'd still sell my soul for it. Trust me, I would absolutely, 100%.
What's that?
What, for Prime?
No. For
Dick enlargement.
100%. There's never a point I would not sell my soul for dick enlargement. So
they sell pumps, my guy.
Not good enough. Not good enough. So, all right. It's gonna get interesting. Let's take a ride, shall we? No, don't say, oh God, like that. What the fuck?
Because I know it's gonna get crazy.
It's gonna get crazy. You better buckle up. No. So I would sell my soul to the energy drink companies if they were like, hey, make videos for us. Okay. Yeah, no problem. But even I will say straight up, it's fucking poison.
Yeah, they're bad for you.
When I was in college, they had us do a series of commercials, and you could choose different things to do the commercials for, and they were legit products. And if you whatever you chose, you got to use things like they would send you cases. Like, so we picked Rockstar Energy.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Jergens.
I don't use lotion. So, we don't. What? No, that's why my elbows are ashy. So we get to Rockstar Energy drink, and we have to make a bunch of commercials for them. But they gave us like fucking pallet of Rockstar Energy drinks. And I was the producer of this shit. So they went to my house, and it was like when we needed them, I would bring them. I had any place to fucking put them. So By the end of it, like we filmed a lot, and it was like, drink however fucking many you want. We got to shoot all night. Let's do this shit. And shit you not, by the end of it, I still had like 10 cases of this shit, and I just kept drinking it for finals and everything else to keep me going. My piss was fucking nuclear.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll never drink another energy drink again. I got so sick.
No, thank you.
Yeah, I don't want that. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I'll never drink one again because I know I'm going to, but I don't drink them very often.
You're gonna die.
I'm gonna die anyway. That's gonna happen anyway.
But you're gonna die like tomorrow.
At least stay preserved.
If it's in the cards,
bro. You guys remember a little thing called Jaeger bombs?
I've never had one.
I'm from New Jersey, dude.
All right, so Red Bull and Jägermeister. Yeah, Red Bull and Jägermeister, right? I'm pretty sure that was it.
Yeah, Jägermeister, and you'd get the shot of Red Bull. Oh no, you'd have Red Bull in the cup, and you get the shot of Jägermeister, and you drop it
in, and then fucking, bro. After a night of that shit and drinking a few Red Bulls, and I could not. It was the worst case of the spins with the I want to fall asleep, but I can't, and I can't do nothing either way, and my heart was palpitating. I swear to God, bro. I was in the room. I was in my ex's spare room at her parents' house, and I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And her father came in. It must have been, I don't know, 4 a.m, and I had to go to work the next day.
Yeah.
At like 7:30. He's like, but what the fuck is going on? Like, why, what's happening? And I'm like, I am dying over and over. And he's just like, what the fucker? Feel my chest. He comes over, put his hand on my chest. He was like, Concho, bro, you're fucking dying. And I'm just sitting there like, I can't fall asleep. I can't do nothing. I don't know what the fuck to do. I'm also spinning here. I'm out of control. I'm in a tailspin. I am fucking about to hit the ground. I just want to hit the ground. Let me hit the ground. Where's the ground?
Chris, they attached a bomb to your heart. If it stops beating, we all die.
Fucking pull all the wires. Let's let that bitch explode. I need this shit to end.
Dude, Chris had like a Jaeger bomb, and it turned into Crank 2. Jaeger bombs. Lady Manhattan loves that shit. She loves the Jaeger bombs. Well, she doesn't do much anymore, but she did.
I can't. After that shit, never again, bro. I barely touch Red Bull or Monster or anything like that nowadays, bro.
You know,
rarely.
You'll appreciate this. So, when I was in college, I used to go to this bar. And I used to get real fucking hammered. Right before I started working there as the karaoke. And like I would get hammered, but like it was like a normal, like, oh yeah, that's Mick's good. He'll get home, he'll walk home. This was a night where I am not proud of anything.
Uh-oh.
I was so blackout drunk.
He said the N-word.
No.
Yo, stop it.
No.
I had to.
No.
To his wife while walking home.
Said a lot worse. No.
Oh wow.
No. I did. No, it was
full Kanye on him.
In fact, I had to retrace my footsteps because I woke up. I remember the 4th Irish car bomb.
Okay.
And then I remember nothing.
Shit.
I woke up the next day in my bed, fully clothed, with just certain items in my pocket, a lot of which were not things I needed at that moment. So I did that, and then I wake up and I'm like, I have to retrace my footsteps. I don't even know where my girlfriend is. I lost her. I didn't know she went. I don't know if she's mad at me. I don't know what's happening. I don't know where my phone is. I don't know where my wallet is. I don't know where my keys are. I don't know where anything is. So I walk out to my car, and it's parked across 4 parking spots the long way with cars still parked around it. And I'm like, oh my God. I was like, and I parked in like the prime time spots too. I don't know how that happened. And I parallel parked. I'm assuming, I don't even know if I drove. So, and I'm not advocating, and this isn't me laughing at that fact. That is
no.
fact and
No.
And I was far too young and too stupid. And that is something I learned a very hard lesson on. So and do not do. I don't even drink, so I learned my lesson. And I'm not laughing at that fact, but the fact that things were so wild that it was just fucking crazy. And again, I don't even know if I did drive, you know? So I go, I'm like, the only place I go is go back to the bar. They have my phone. And there's like 100 missed calls. Because just school. So I have people like trying to reach out to me. I have other people from all over trying to reach out to me. My girlfriend sent a lot of text messages. She was not happy. So then I go to her house because the keys are in the car, by the way. The keys are in the car. I still don't know where my wallet is. So the whole day turns into this like me investigating from one spot to the next, trying to figure out and piece together the night. So I went home that night and I wrote treatment for it. And it was about a guy who got blacked out drunk and the next day woke over with terrible hangover and had to investigate why people were trying to kill him because he remembers nothing. And I was going to make it like a thriller comedy sort of thing. Lo and behold, a few years later,
I was going to say,
The Hangover comes out. I was like, fuck you guys. I called mine The Hangover too. But
oh shit,
that was my story. So good night, everybody.
Listen, I got another thing to say about this, guys. The only reason why I finished this is because I paid for it. That's
I love
one.
your wife.
And I had to water it down. Yes, please throw that away because that's garbage. I had to water it down the whole time. And just so I could taste more of the water. But again, I didn't want to waste it because I didn't want to waste my money. Do not buy that, people. I would not want that to be a sponsor. I think when you have sponsors, you should actually like the product. I'm not 100%. I'm not 100% on that though because it depends how much they're paying. But that's disgusting. You can't pay me enough to drink that bullshit again. That's nasty. No, don't waste your money on that. That's gross.
Hopefully
Buy
they
it.
perfected like the fruit punch one or something. You know what I mean?
That was blue raspberry, but I'm never gonna buy anything of that again because blue raspberry and like any other thing is good. Other beverages, it tastes good. That nah, don't do it. Don't do it. That's my message to you guys. That's 30's PSA for the night.
I did want to announce to everybody I got a few shows coming out tomorrow.
Nice.
So we're gonna have a special 5 takeaways for Women's Equality Day.
Nice.
Lady Manhattan hosted that one, and that's her top 5 women actors who have inspired and their roles that have inspired her. So be on the lookout for that. There's also going to be a new episode of Does It Suck? And that's dropping at midnight for you guys. It was on Patreon a week in advance already, so everybody who's on Patreon got to see it. But it will be dropping at midnight for special for you guys. So make sure that you guys check that out. That's on Last Man Standing, actually starring Bruce Willis. We were talking about action movies. If you haven't checked that one out, you should. I like that. I think it was good. So there's your tidbit to whether I thought it sucked or not. But now you don't have to watch the video. What do you guys have coming up?
I'm literally about to start playing Fortnite. It's Fortnite Friday here with your boy, the worst damn gamer ever. So get in here. I'm about an hour and 14 minutes late right now to my own stream with other people that I play with. So
That's
about
funny.
that. About that.
I love it.
He's late.
He is late. Well, dude, whatever. What does that mean?
Hey,
is that a thing? Is
What,
that
brown people being late?
I've never heard that about
Puerto Ricans? They're late.
All of us.
all the time. Really?
All of us.
Yeah, but you heard my wife.
Bro,
She just said all the
fashionably
time.
late.
Puerto
I
Ricans
grew
are
up in Little Puerto Rico in Jersey City.
They
I
were
don't
always
remember.
late.
You know what though? I do remember the mornings. The streets were very clear.
That's because they were still getting ready or just getting up.
No,
Taking their time
no.
having their cafe Bustelo, you know?
I never knew that because like I've worked with. I know a lot of Puerto Rican people, and but late has never been a stereotype I've heard. So
Let me hook you up here, my brother. There's a thing called CP time. You feel me? And there's a thing that we run by, and it's always if we say 3, we mean 3:30, 4 o'clock.
I was almost going to make a joke that connected
people?
to our previous conversation a little while ago. Like Sturdy wasn't fully here for that conversation. So if he didn't hear that part, he's going to get really offended.
I'm trying to remember what part myself.
Anyone out of context? Well, I was going to say when you said that, I was going to like, well, I guess I'm just more civilized than you, but say it as a joke because we were talking about civilized things. And I was like, but you know that's going to come off. Like I have to explain this now because we're on a show.
No,
and
you
people are
don't.
going to hear that and be like,
That shit's funny. Listen,
We
people,
just figured out there's
I
numbers
love
on
funny,
the
but-
sundial.
Here, listen. Here. I'll explain it for you. Stop being so soft, everybody. You see that we're a group of friends just cracking some jokes. Shut the fuck up with your feelings. Mind your fucking business. I'm not upset about it. Chris ain't upset about it. Mick ain't upset about it. If you're upset about it, change the channel.
Yo,
that's because people who are civilized aren't upset about things so easily.
my watch is fucked up because the sun is down, and right now the light from my room is telling me it's 6 p.m., but I feel like it's midnight. So I don't know what to believe. My internal
It's
clock.
11:16. So you're not even late for your own thing. You
No,
fucker.
it's supposed to be at 10.
Oh, they are. You're super late. Oh, what happened to Chris? I thought he was going to join in.
I don't know. He's white. They're not reliable either.
So did you just say that he's unreliable? Oh shit!
Yeah.
You're watching Jackie Brown.
He's on a
tonight?
yacht somewhere doing his taxes or something, He's wearing his moccasins, his boat shoes, making sure his credit score is still at 800.
I think he's staying away from boats for right now.
Oh, man.
Dude, I'm on my buddy Ward. My buddy Ward every Friday night hosts a movie watch party on Cosme. So we can all just be in the chat and watch the movie that he puts on. He calls it Ward. It's a different. I'll show it to you. It's pretty cool. In fact, I'll send you the link. You guys can join in. He invites anybody who wants to be a part of it.
Because I may want because I'm looking for another place to do watch parties. So
nice.
They're very cool. Super racist. No.
Wow.
Then
let's go, Sturdy.
Let's do it now.
Let's convert them.
They're awesome. They're very cool. Yeah, but they watch and it's not just horror movies. He'll put on all type of cult stuff, things like that. So put it on. It usually starts at midnight. He calls it Ward's Dirty Basement. So he'll show clips of stuff or things like that. Sometimes he'll show Night Court reruns, which is cool.
Oh, nice.
And then he gets into the movies and he curates them every week. And so we go and I'll hang out if I can. It's late. I fall asleep, but it's always a good time. But I guess he says we aren't. That's way, way too good for the basement.
That's awesome.
So so I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if he can let me broadcast here, and we'll see what he's watching.
There you go.
Oh man,
there you go. I was when you were like, they're super good, they're super. I was like, okay, so I gotta go do my whites real quick. I'll be right back.
What? No, that's not what I was doing. I wanted to see if you're showing any horror movies so we could talk.
No. You said you had made a joke that they're super racist, and you're like, no, I'm kidding. They're great guys. And I was literally, as you finished saying that, before you interjected, they're super great. They're not actually racist or nothing. I was about to be like, okay, I got to go do my white sheets real quick. I got to be accepted when I show up.
Go put his hood on.
That's it. I got to go get my whites done, get my load of laundry in.
I got a big body, and I'll tell you right now, even when I wear hoodies, the hoods never fit right. So there's only one outfit where the hood fits perfectly.
Oh, it's that outfit, isn't it?
No, it's my Snorlax onesie, you fucker.
Shit, I want to see that even more than the other one.
It's the only thing I can wear. It was the only onesie that I can find that fits me.
That's hilarious.
That's freaking
bro.
awesome.
Oh my god. I don't know how we can pull this off, but can you be Snorlax for Halloween and I'll be Maui from Moana?
Yes.
That was easy.
Snore.
He was like, yes,
dude. Well, are you guys both going to do the 300th? Are you going to do the 300th episode?
Oh,
that's October 13th, right? Friday the 13th. 31st. Gotcha.
It's
on Halloween.
The live Halloween night. So every year we do a Halloween. Anyway, this is Cosme, by the way.
Okay.
So right now he's playing music. So you can just go in there and hang out and talk in the chat. But then
Oh, I was
he'll show movies on here too.
Nice.
okay.
They'll do watch parties and stuff. It's very cool. It's a lot of fun, and they're good people. So if you're ever in the
Yeah,
mood to-
drop us a link to that because I want to check that out.
I did. I put it in the chat, private
Okay,
chat.
cool.
So going back to what I was saying, what was that, by the way?
I don't know what you're.
Oh, Halloween.
Snorlax. Oh,
So
yeah.
Halloween, every year for Halloween, we do a big Halloween special, and we try to do it on location somewhere. The first year, Casey and I were the first year I think it was just Casey and I remote because it was 2020. And then the second year we were on location at this very cool coffee house called the Hideaway Cafe in here in Winchester, and they were awesome. And we went to different stores, played games and stuff. Then last year we did it online again because we invited a bunch of people to be a part of it. We did some costumes. We had a good time with it. I think I went as Frankenstein. And then this year it's our 300th episode. So we're going to do, and it falls on that Tuesday, which is Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do our live, the Scene Snobs podcast live Halloween special 300th episode. And we're going to invite our friends. I'm still debating on whether it's going to be a pay-per-view or not.
Okay.
So if people want to go in there and do that, that would, I will have that answers for you soon. But while we're on Mick Nite, I can talk about it. And yeah, and all just friends hanging out. We're going to play some games. We're going to do some stuff, but you have to come dressed in costume.
Okay.
And it has to be your most hated movie character.
Oh,
Whoever you hate, you got to come dressed.
Movie characters. Who do I hate that's a movie character?
Tons, I'm sure.
I gotta think of. I'm sure I can think of something.
You can think of
he's
something.
doing here. I see what he's doing here.
What?
He's trying to get you to do some type of Nick Cage fucking character, and he's trying to get me to do Weed Wolf.
I did not plan on that, but yes. Yeah.
I can't.
There's no way Dan is going to go as Ghost Rider.
No.
I don't, for Halloween, just in general, go as he doesn't hate Nicolas Cage, but he's not strange like Sturdy, hating on one of the greatest American actors of all time, and belongs on the Mount Rushmore of actors.
I don't think so.
The most versatile actor. He's never the same character in anything. It's a true story. I mean, I read it in a book.
Oh man.
So
his book.
Oh my God. My wife, of course, sent me the picture of me in the Snorlax onesie. I want it noted that I have lost weight since this. God, that's so fucking big. Shit, I don't even know what I'm showing you. God, you guys gotta get me on a Friday fucking night. I was so good at the morning show. I just could sit there and then I had the whole day to myself. Now I'm at night showing pictures of me in a Snorlax onesie.
Yes.
No. I don't like it.
I love it. I love it.
Sturdy's loving this right now.
Hell yeah.
You can see it in his eyes.
He's taking it all in. He's taking it all in.
Well, keep that in mind right now. Keep that in mind. This guy turned into this guy. And this guy got laid more than this guy.
That's hilarious.
Love it. That's awesome.
Although, and I'll tell you, this guy had a secret girlfriend, and it is a very interesting story. And when I reach 5,000 subscribers,
nice.
I will tell that tale, and it is worth it.
On a Mick Nite, because that's the Wild show.
That's so here's the funny thing. So here's the good part. So I'm doing this guest co-host thing, right? And there's certain times where I blocked it out where I don't have to do the guest co-host thing, and that's the 31st because we're doing the show. We're doing it's a Halloween special, so I don't want a guest co-host just signing up for that. You know what I mean? But October 6th is our 4-year anniversary for the podcast. So actually, I would love to get your opinion on this. Either I can have it on I think it's the 3rd, which is that Tuesday. So I can have the show on that Tuesday and just do the normal 4-year anniversary show, saying it's coming up. It's the week of our anniversary.
Mm-hmm.
Or do it on Friday on the 6th. I think I might keep it on that Tuesday and just say, hey, happy anniversary to the Scene Science podcast. It's coming up on the 6th. But we used to always do the episode before the anniversary podcast as the fuck off episode.
I feel like the fuck off should be the one like where you don't have to. That should be the Mick Nite episode. The 6th one, Subvert in 6 years of the Scene Sounds, are more of like a fun, less structured kind of just whatever.
Well, here's the thing, the fuck off episode. The fuck off episode is for us to purge everything throughout the year that pissed us off in this. So when we get to that, we start anew.
I like it.
So I'm thinking about moving that to the anniversary episode. And then just having the fuck off episode with the ranting and the raving. And then maybe some guests who want to pop in and talk about the anniversary, but nothing major like the 300th episode. But like maybe just pop in, we'll have some fun conversation, talk about stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking that, and then but make it the fuck off episode where we'll just talk about the shit that pissed us off throughout the year, and then start year 5 off right. Especially
I'm ready.
So that's always been like the purge episode. Like we just go a little crazy and we have some fun with it.
Yeah.
So, but I can't do that one because I have Jeff Dwoskin on the week before, and Jeff is a great guy. Jeff is a funny guy, but I'm not just going to complain about all my shit with him on.
Yeah. Do it for the Friday.
Yeah. So we'll do something like that for sure.
That's perfect.
I think it'll be fun. Dude, the fucking basement is lit.
Just as a backup idea for the 300, if we can do our best Spartans.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, you know, it's funny with that coming up. I'm going to do a series of videos, that are 300 themed, like that week. So I'm going to do like a 5 takeaways, and it's going to be my top 5 movies that are 300 themed in some way.
Nice.
You know, and you know, just kind of like, you know, maybe like there's a few different things I want to do. Like the Discovering Horror that week is our final for the season. Because there's 12 episode seasons, and I'll be back in 2024 for Carolina Fear Fest. But we're ending it on a very special note of Halloween for me. Like a lot of it was very personalized. Movies that I curated and chose, and why I chose these movies. Because when we get to season 2, we're going to change things up a bit. You're going to have a mix. It's not just going to be movies we talk about. So it's going to definitely be interesting, like where we're going. Like Dan and I have planned out the next 4 seasons.
Nice.
The show.
Nice.
So that's this fucking shit, dude. At this point, like I'm just like, if you look at my calendar, and I realize this is boring fucking talk. I don't really care, but because I'm high, so I'll just talk about whatever. Fucking music keeps playing. I love this music. Oh shit. Ooh. Ooh. I love it.
This mofo.
I fucking love this.
This guy is over there dancing.
I want to do it right now. I just want to dance.
Just dance. It'll be okay. Mix dance to the record, babe. Make dance.
Oh, I don't even know how much of this I'm allowed to actually play.
I can hear it, so we're good. But I'm sorry, I have to excuse myself. I'm being yelled at. My comms are going off.
Yeah, I'm at this point. I'm like scheduling shows. I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point anymore. So,
oh shit.
So we should probably end it here. I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep, thinking about all the little darlings that, you know, we're taking in civilized times.
Gotcha.
Remember the atrocities.
Stay civilized.
Never
Stay
forget.
civilized. Oh man, I love
All
it.
right.
All right, get out of here,
You're good.
Chris. I'll say goodbye to Sturdy myself.
Sturdy, I'll talk to you soon. I'll see you
Yes, sir.
tomorrow.
Hell yeah,
Mick,
popcorn.
thank you as always.
Thank you.
Chats, y'all rock. Appreciate y'all. If y'all want to get down on the game or anything else, you know where to find me.
Yep, go check them out. Worst damn gamer ever.
That's it. Thanks,
Later,
guys.
Gators.
Later,
Peace out,
brothers.
man.
Sturdy, you came late,
I
so
did.
I would like you to tell everybody about yourself, what you do, where you are, who you are, why you are, when you are,
That's a lot.
how you are.
I'm
and
great.
everything in between.
But listen, everybody, you can go to horrorresearch30.com. You can find all my stuff there, podcast stuff, where you can follow me, all that. It's just easier to find it there. And if you enjoy the show, give it a like, hit that notification, give it a share. Even if you don't like it, at least share it to annoy somebody you don't like. See, that's the one thing we don't say. We always say share if you like it, but share if you hate it too. And share it and tell people that you cannot stand to watch or listen to our shows.
Damn
Why?
right.
Because you can't stand them. Hopefully it annoys them and they do the same. And they just keep sharing it and listening and so on and so forth. Maybe they stay and they like it. I don't know. But yeah, horrorresearch30.com. I'll be back Tuesday with another interview. I got to check my schedule to see with who. And Popcorn and Pints, we are going to be back in 2 weeks from tomorrow. Taking a couple weeks off, but we'll be back. And like I said, Horror Research 30 will be back Tuesday. And I'm looking for another spot for a watch party, people. So let me know. And I may game tonight. The new Texas Chainsaw Massacre game. I haven't played it yet.
Ooh.
But yeah, so I may game tonight. And again, I told you guys the next time I stream and game, it's gonna be called I Am the Flash because of that video from Mick at Night a couple weeks ago, which was hilarious. So yeah, tune into that over on Horror Research 30 everywhere. And yeah, that's it. HorrorResearch30.com.
All right, everybody. Thank you for joining in. Take care. Have a good one.
Peace. Don't drink Prime.